Welcome back to another episode of the Off-Season Podcast. I'm your host, Trey Hall. I have my other host here, Efe OVA, and we are back to our regularly scheduled program. I think
Yes,
this is the
sir.
first time. I think this is the first time we actually potted with just us in a long time. I think it's.
Yeah.
I want to
Probably
say
been
it's the
like 2 or
first
3
time since
months.
football, but I could be wrong about. No, we recapped the playoffs,
Yeah, and then we did,
and then
like,
we
some
had
bylaw stuff.
Yeah, we did some bylaw stuff, and then we actually got a lot of guests on. I know we got Coach J Mac on from Carmel Catholic, then we had Coach CJ on from Morgan Park, had the other few guests, photographers, and all that other stuff. But now we back here, man, and we
We
was talking
here,
about it.
man.
Yeah, we was talking about it a lot off camera. How it's almost like the football season for us is starting a little bit early because of the uh, Illinois high school spring combines. The first time that it's happened because of the passing of bylaw proposal 12 back in December, and it went into effect January 31st or January 30th, whatever date that was. And now it's been happening the last couple weeks, and we got out to a bunch of them. I mean, well, I wouldn't say a bunch, right? Probably like what, four or
A
five,
handful, yeah, a handful,
a
yeah.
handful of them, but it was a decent amount of them going on. I know it started off in Southern Illinois, then it made its way up to the northern part of Illinois, and I think the last one is at Whitney Young on Monday. I don't think we're gonna make it to that one, but yeah, got to see a lot of talent or evaluations of players before the season even starts. So that's something that's, for us, it's like we don't even really got to do the research because we just go out and see the rosters and, you know, evaluate
Yeah,
some of the players.
and that's the tough thing is like, man, it's so many athletes, bro. Like it's just so hard to get eyes on everybody. So even with us going to the handful of combines, there's still so many guys out there. We got guys tagging us in, film and off-season workouts and stuff. And I'm like, man, it's just so many, diamonds out here, as far as athletes go that I would love to just know about, but it's only two of us. So, I just appreciate the athletes who do send in videos and tag us and, just do what they can to get on our radar because it definitely helps. And that going into one big point that I wanted to make, and we talked about this on the field a little bit, is just like being prepared for these moments.
Hmm.
So like we'll get there. And you even just said it when we was at Lincoln, we was at Sandberg, and you were saying like I think it was a number 2 from HF or something like that, and you tried to look him up, and he was like, "Dang, I couldn't even find him." Like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of a big issue that we ran into because the same with me, marking down some of those athletes, and it's like, man, let me try to look them up real quick on X or let me look them up on Instagram, and their username isn't their full name, and that's what we have on the roster sheet. So it's like you athletes have to be intentional about their handles, even something small like that, because real quick, I'm trying to look you up. I can't find you. It's on to the next one. And that's what the coaches do as well. So I think players need to be more intentional about their social media and bios and making sure, like, hey, your first name and your last name is in there. So if I just search it, you pop up, I can look you up, I can see everything I need to see. And then now we rolling. Now I got you on the list and now we looking into you and doing our research. But if nothing pops up, we just got to move on to the next guy. So you may miss an opportunity just because your social media ain't set up yet or is
Yeah.
not set up correctly. So that's
Yeah.
one piece of advice.
No, I was talking to Master about it yesterday. I was kind of explaining the same thing to him, but he made up a great point saying that was luckily they have this opportunity like for spring combines because they can meet some of these coaches face to face that they can bypass all of the social media stuff. They can see them in
Yeah.
real time, see them in person, shake hands with them, introduce themselves. So then even if they want to get their social media, they can like point them in the right direction. So that's why I like the spring combines. I remember when we was talking about the bylaw proposal before it actually passed, like I kept saying, like if it makes it to the ballot, it's gonna pass because this is one of those things that it's not a bylaw that's gonna help just one school. It's gonna help pretty much the whole entire association, and it helps kids get looks. And it's not necessarily, the top tier schools that's always there. It's some of these local schools that they get to meet too. That just gives them a real life opportunity to not only get seen but to meet some coaches and get recruited. So I'm sure a lot of kids shook a lot of hands, talked to a lot of coaches. I mean, we were seeing it, right? Like, we were seeing it happening in real time. So, and a lot of these kids was young too, so they getting on a lot of coaches' radars at a young age as well. So it's not just the juniors; it's also like sophomores. Some of them were freshmen that we saw. So I think it's a good thing. But back to your point, yeah, bro. Like it happened to me yesterday. Like I had a good play of it was a kid from Providence, and I had to ask one of his teammates, like, "Yo, what's his social media, bro? I can't find it." And he gave it to me, and I'm just like, "Bro, like." And I think his social media was something like weird. It was like the one or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't his name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like,
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand, like, it's like, you gotta treat your social media as if like, it's your LinkedIn profile, your business profile. You know what I mean? And it should be very similar on multiple platforms. So say even if you're on TikTok, even if you're on Instagram, even if you're on X, I feel like your social media should be very similar as possible. Think about our social media, right? Obviously, we can't make our username the same from like Instagram and X, but it's very, very similar to the point that if you at least type in off season or you at least type in off season brand, you're going to find it on each platform. It's not going to be hard to find us. You know, the only hard part about finding us is the way way off season spell for us. But once you understand that we spell off season differently, you're going to be able to find us anywhere. And going back to the kids, it's like you want a coach to be able to type in your first and last name, not your nickname, your first and last name, to be able to find you like that. So that way they're able to find you like that. They can share your information, share with whoever they need to share it with, you know, whether
Yeah.
it's the recruiting, the head coach, whatever. And if they're having a hard time, if we're having a hard time finding you, I know for a fact they're having a hard time finding you. No for a
Yeah,
fact.
and just
No for a
imagine
fact.
coaches who are from out the state. Like we probably have an
Yeah.
easier time navigating because we know Illinois, we know the guys, so
Yeah.
we just see it consistently. But somebody who don't know and your username was ever that, they don't know. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's a good point. And another point I want to bring up, and this is more on the coaching side, is max preps. You know, because even with like some of the stats there, like we look up certain guys and we write them down, and I want to find out how they performed last year. You go into max preps. Some people are in max preps, some people aren't. So I'm not sure what coaches are responsible for managing that, but that's a big tool as well for you to know how they performed in the previous season. And so yeah, I think it's just a collection of data points for the athletes and the coaches. And I think it it's worth it going the extra mile, because I know it's like a lot of coaches don't want to deal with the social media, don't want to deal with the digital stuff. But I mean, in the time that we in, is like almost most important to do that for visibility.
Hmm.
So I think that any coach that's in the school, like, and now I'm even talking from a social media aspect, like come up with a club, come up with a group, a creator group, because there's a bunch of kids in every school that now want to pick up a camera, want to run social media. So let these young kids manage the stats, manage the social media, create the content, and really market the brand for your team, for your program. I
Hmm.
feel like it's vital at this point,
Yep.
just for easy access and quick information. Like, hey, I just seen this kid make a crazy play. Let me look up his school. Let me look up his highlights, his X. All of that needs to happen in seconds. It's like, all right, we locked in. Now I'm gonna follow this kid. It's like that for a lot of kids that we come across. Like, for example, Dontrell Young. Knew nothing about Dontrell Young, came across him, watched his film, saw a crazy play, saw that he was a track star, saw his times. And you're like, man, how wasn't we talking about this kid? And now we following him. Now he's tagging us. We seeing his recruiting spark a little bit more. And
The guy
now I
from
can
was that
post
from Geneva?
Oswego. No, Oswego.
Oswego. I'm thinking of a
Yeah,
different kid.
Oswego. Yeah, but you're thinking of Bennett Conkey,
Yeah, Benny
which also
Conti,
the
yeah.
same thing, but the same applies to him. Saw him at OT7, came across his times in track, saw he was running a Illinois number one, 100, 200, something like that. And now I was able to type in Bennett Conkey. His X came up, his Instagram came up. He was on Max Prep. So now I have all the information I need. Now we can create an article for him. We could create write ups. We could post them on Instagram, like make video. We could do whatever, talking his. We could do what we that helps us promote. That helps us market. That helps us do everything we need to do to put a spotlight on the athlete. So the more information you give us, the better we can do at promoting you. So and that goes for the team as well. So yeah, I think coaches just got to lock in a little bit more and kind of just adopt the philosophy and the social media tools and strategies. Because it definitely helps. Like even college coaches are following us now, like
Yep.
from the camps, because they didn't know who we were, and we got college coaches following us because they see all of the kids sharing like, hey man, I had a great combine today, and tagging off season, and we did the interviews and posted it, and they see it. So that's how that works. So now when we
Mhm.
start posting guys, those coaches that follow us see them, and now there goes the recruiting starts for you. So help us do our job.
Exactly, and it's not even just us out there too. I know I seen Slow Shay out there too, and he posted a lot of videos that did well. You know,
Yeah.
the social media is where it's at. Obviously, Slow Shay like he's been known in the area for a lot of the sports in Illinois, and all of that helps. You know, like he helps promotes the athletes. I know Dope Visions out there too. It's a bunch of camera freelance photographers and videographers. They're all on social media though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, and that's how I think all of us play our part in helping getting a lot of the athletes seen. You know, so but making your social media accessible and easy to find, I'm telling you that it goes a long way. And I think we got some, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I think we probably got something in the works that's probably going to help kind of bridge that gap too. But I don't want to mention it too much because it's still premature right now. But
For sure.
yeah, it's something that I think that we're going to play our part in doing that as well. But some teams that you notice or players that you want to talk about from the combine. I got one team in mind that I want to talk about that I saw yesterday, but I'm gonna let you go first
Okay.
if there's some teams or players that you think that are question marks or we should be on the lookout for.
Yeah, so I I got to start with St. Francis, man. Like St. Francis, we went to Naperville North, and them coming off of a 5A state championship. It's high expectations for them, but we saw a lot of their guys. I mean, the receivers looked amazing. Defensive linemen look good. One question, which we have this question for a couple teams this year, is Brock Phillip is gone, which was the quarterback at St. Francis last season. Is like who takes the snaps now? Because I feel like they returned a lot. Like they didn't even reload; they returned a lot of athletes. So
I know they
I
lost a
think the
lot of
biggest
athletes
question.
on the offensive end though, for sure. St. Francis.
Yeah, yeah, but they got, as we saw at
They
the
got some
combine,
younger
they had
guys,
two or
yeah.
three receivers that
Yeah,
are
younger
gonna
guys,
step up and
yeah.
make big plays. So yeah, I think St. Francis is probably collectively the best group that I've seen at the combine in terms of like multiple positions playing well. I like Glenbar West; they had a couple guys out there. But St. Francis definitely was the team that stood out to me, and I think depending on how the classifications. I know it's super early on to be talking about classifications, but 5A, if they're gonna if they stay in 5A, I think they're gonna be favored to win it again. The only question mark is that quarterback position. So
Yeah,
I think
I think they do stand 5A.
think so.
Yeah, well, because the only how many deep runs have they made in recent years? Not many, right?
No, not many. So yeah,
Because
they
success
probably
factor would be the only thing that would bump them up, but I don't think
yeah.
they've had many deep runs to say, "All right, they need to be bumped up." Now, if they win state again this year, or they make a deep run again this year, then they could probably be bumped up to 6A after that, but I think they'll probably still be in 5.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I know on the defensive end, there was some guys that we saw in the trenches that had a couple nice videos that went viral, but, yeah, I think St. Francis, what they're probably doing well that we probably don't see is that they're probably developing those young talents because that's what we saw. Like a lot of the guys that we saw at the Naperville North Camp
Yeah.
dominating was a lot of the young guys on the St. Francis squad. And if you don't know in the videos, because you would only know this if you were at the camp. The guys that were in dark jerseys were usually the upperclassmen. The guys that were in white jerseys were usually the underclassmen. And we got a lot of footage of guys in white jerseys from St. Francis
Yeah.
specifically. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We won't know right now, but it's way too early to tell. But we'll see. See how well they develop some of the guys. I know one of the guys, actually, probably a couple of the guys played in the state championship as well. So they was probably
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
some reps at and some reps in the state championship. So maybe throughout the playoffs too. So we'll see for St. Francis. Team I want to talk about. Well, I'll start with the one we went to yesterday first, early in the morning at 6 a.m. I want to say, Coach Murphy, you were mad. I don't know who decided that, but I'm gonna just put it on Coach Murphy. You were mad, man, for starting that at 6 a.m. But I get it. I get it. But 6 a.m. that was crazy. Anywho,
Yeah,
we
bro.
went out at Sandberg, and obviously that was like a lot of people in the Sandberg conference. And the team that I think, at least offensively, it's gonna be good is Sandberg. A lot of those guys that were performing on offense last year were juniors, bro, and they're going into the senior year. Quarterback, receiver, running back position, the trenches. I think Sandberg next year is going to be a team to look out for. I know they lost a lot of guys on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, it looks like they returned pretty much. We was talking about Quinn Durkin. Quinn Durkin was there. I want to say his name is Andy Ruiz, the quarterback. Lucas,
Luke. Yeah. Go ahead, shoot
bro,
for it.
I'm not even gonna say his last. Bro, he told us how to pronounce it too, but
He
I'm not even
did.
gonna like try to botch it. But and probably many other Cade Kohler is his name. Is that his name? Cade Kohler,
I believe so.
lineman. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
lineman.
I'll probably correct it on the screen if I said it incorrectly. But Cade Kohler, big lineman in the trenches. Another kid, Steven. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was a sophomore last year. Was he a freshman last year? No, he's a sophomore last year, and he's going into his junior year. So they got a lot of guys on the line, the quarterback position and running back position and receiver position coming back next year on the offensive end. And I think that's one of the things that Coach Murphs said to us last year when we was at the summer camp tour. He said the good thing about the team is that they're still really young.
Yeah.
And, they had a pretty decent season last year. I mean, they went 5-0 for the first time in a long time. And, they probably had some bumps in the roads after they went 5-0, but, they made it to the playoffs. And we don't know what to expect from the UAE, so we don't really know what to expect from that conference coming into next year outside of Lockport, maybe. But it seems like
Yeah.
they have a good opportunity to do some good things over there at Sandberg. Lockport, just segue into Lockport. I saw a lot of those guys yesterday. They look really good and they're young. And I see some play, like we're gonna get some videos up, but it was some plays made by I want to say his name was Kahari. He wore 86 last year. I think yesterday he was wearing number 4 or 5 or something like that. But yeah, Lockport is going to be another team to look out for. I think they're in the same conference as Sandberg, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah, so Lockport. But then the main team I want to talk about though is Providence. Providence went to the state
Yeah.
championship, and I didn't realize majority of their team that was participating was, a lot of their star players was underclassmen as well. I know we talk about
Yeah.
Dom. Was it Vita? Dom Vita?
Yeah, Don Vita, yep.
Yeah. So he was a sophomore last year, going into his junior year next year, and that's going to be a guy to look out for. I know he got some guys to hand it off to in the backfield, and that's going to be a team. I think overall, I mean, I like their size, and I think that's going to be a team to look out for coming up in 5A because they went to the state championship last year and played St. Francis, and they returned a lot of those players. They can
Yeah.
probably make a good run too. And it's gonna be very interesting to see next football season. Obviously, we're only talking about the teams that were at the combine. We're not talking about the teams that we already know, like the Mount Carmel that's returning pretty much like 14 starters that probably gonna be there again. One thing I noticed yesterday though, Loyola, they didn't have a quarterback throwing yesterday. And that was shocking to me. I don't know what I mean, I'm sure there's a specific reason why, but
Mhm.
I didn't really get to see much of what Loyola could be
Well,
bringing back.
Matthew Lee, the sophomore Matthew Lee.
Uh-huh, but that's what I'm saying, they
Yeah.
didn't have
He
anybody
was
there throwing yesterday, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, well,
like
I'm sure it's probably a reason why he wasn't throwing, but that's the guy going
I don't
forward.
even think they had a if I'm not mistaken, when I looked at the roster, I don't think they had a quarterback there. So I was just curious to see because I would've liked to see looks from him, but I'm sure he's probably in, like, another sport or something. You know, it's just go ahead, my bad.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, another sport, or maybe he just, maybe he was at a college visit,
Yeah,
recruiting stuff. So yeah, I know a lot of top guys, didn't perform
yeah.
in some of these combines, and I'm sure as well, like, because I know you was at St. Viator, was like Cam McGee there because I know Brother Rice was there. Was Cam there, like guys like that?
You know what's crazy? I don't even think Brother Rice showed up.
Oh, they did? Oh, dang, because I know they was on the list.
I don't remember I had to look at the footage. I don't remember seeing Brother Rice there yesterday.
Trust me, if Brother Rice was there, I'm sure he
No,
would have
I'm
known they
dead. No,
was there.
I'm
No,
dead
that's what
ass.
I'm
I
saying.
seen St. Rita. I did see St. Rita. St. Rita could be a good team to look out for too. I want to mention that.
Huh?
I know they got the transfer from Romeoville, but
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing Brother Rice there. I remember seeing Leo. I remember seeing Providence, Lockport. I mentioned St. Rita. Bennett Academy. I spoke with Coach White
Hmm.
ourselves. Loyola was there. I honestly don't remember seeing Brother Rice. Maybe somebody can help us out when they see this and say, no, we didn't end up showing up. But I don't remember seeing Brother Rice there, if I'm being
Okay.
honest. But yeah, I mean, like you said, like the combine, that you're not going to see the whole team, right? You're only going to
Yeah.
see a sprinkle of, and it's handpicked, by the coaches. So I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure they do a good job of making sure they get some juniors there and making sure they get some underclassmen to get seen too. So, but I like what I saw from Providence. I like what I saw from Lockport. Lockport got some nice size. Oh, another team that I was telling you about, DePaul Prep. I don't know. I know last year they didn't really have that much of a great season, but I know the year before that they won state. I want to say it was in Class 4A or may have been
Was it
5A. No,
third? What?
no, they. I don't know. I don't remember what class.
Yeah,
I
it
know they
don't.
had to.
Yeah,
I
it
know they
don't
had to.
matter. It don't
I know they
matter.
had to jump up last year because of their enrollment. But
Yeah.
I saw that a lot of they guys got a lot of good size, and that may be a team to look out for, maybe potentially. And I'm just going based off size, but it's gonna be very interesting to see. I'm very excited to come. coming to next football season because a lot of guys it looks like are returning. Oh, Glenbard West, I know we talked about it. We saw them at Naperville North, but there's a lot of teams to see coming
Yeah.
to next football season.
Yeah,
Can't
well,
tell
my
too much
biggest
about it
question
because they're not playing games, but
exactly.
based on what
Yeah,
we
but
saw,
it's a good start though.
yeah, it's a good start. Great start, actually.
Yeah,
Great start. Even home with
yeah,
Flossmoor, HF, we talked about a little bit
yeah.
when we were there. So
Yeah, got to see
yeah.
David Hill, the Wisconsin commit, and yeah,
Hmm.
so it's just good getting going around seeing some of the top guys and even guys we just didn't know about. So we just have a better foundation for when the season starts for a lot more players. That's outside of the region that we cover, and primarily because I know we just start getting to the Southern Illinois a little bit this past year. So yeah, just finding out about guys that we just don't get eyes on consistently. Yeah, I think, man, one of the biggest thing that I had talked about with you was the Lincoln Way East thing, bro. Like, Lincoln Way East that's the biggest I don't know of the season because I was telling you I'm used to seeing faces. Like we used to pairing Lincoln Way East with star players, right? And I think this year is probably like the first year that I've seen them where it's like, okay, they don't have a guy like that guy, like a Jonas Williams, they don't have that. So I'm just curious what it looks like for Lincoln Way East this football season. Because I mean, replacing Jonas, that big shoes to fill for whoever is stepping into that role.
Yeah, I know they still got Jaden Cawthorn, right? We was talking about that.
Yeah,
We saw him out there yesterday catching balls. But
yeah.
you're right. That's crazy. I felt like I was I felt like I was on it is what it is. Um yeah, so I'm sure like I'm sure they'll probably get a transfer or
Yeah,
something. I'm sure they'll get somebody to come in. At least I don't know if they need to do it at the quarterback position. Maybe the quarterback or the backup is be good for them next year. Who knows? But I'm sure they're gonna figure it out because and you said it when we were there, bro. Like you said it that they they have a winning culture and foundation that I mean, coach what? He's made the playoffs. The head coach
every
has made the
year.
playoffs every year he's coached.
Yeah,
And
12
I'm
years,
sure
13 years.
more than that, I think, right?
No, no, I think it's only been like 13 years.
I think he's am I mistaken or he's hasn't he been the only head coach in Lincoln Way East since they've been open?
Yeah, well, yeah. How long has it been? I
So
think it
they opened in the early 2000s.
really.
Yeah, I think he's been a coach for like 20 years almost, bro.
Thanks. You should
It's
hold on.
approaching.
Let me
If I'm
see.
not
Let me
mistaken, bro,
see.
I want to say it's approaching 20 years, bro.
Hold on.
But I say that to
No.
say is
Yeah.
that
Go ahead.
this, I'm pretty sure you had many moments like this, like, oh, we got to reload, or we got to bounce back, or we got to do something. They always figured it out. So I won't be surprised if they figure it out. They
Yeah.
have a foundation, and they probably do a good job of, you know, molding the younger levels to make sure that they're going to be prepared by the time they get to varsity. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
25 seasons.
yeah,
25
that's all I was about to
seasons
say. I
starting.
want to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he's been the only head
Yeah.
coach, and he hasn't missed
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
playoffs ever.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
25 straight
actually
years.
crazy.
Yeah.
I wanna segue to this.
What? Go ahead, man. We cut.
I just wanna hint at it. You think this is last season
I
coaching?
mean, this is his son.
I believe
I
so.
believe this is his last year. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Speculation, you
Yeah.
know?
Hey, we'll see next year.
I'm just saying it would make sense, if he goes out with, his kid. So, we'll see
Yeah.
though. But like I said, I think they have a foundation that's strong enough to bounce back to at least make the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
they're not going to be a bottom tier team. They're not going to be a team that goes 0-9 or 2 and
No. No. No.
7 or nothing. They're going to win. They're going to have a winning season, I believe. So, and they'll probably
Yeah.
be back in the
Definitely.
playoffs. So, they just probably won't be that team that's like undefeated, or obviously replacing Jonas Williams is a huge feat. And then also,
Yeah.
I mean, Blaze LaVista got hurt at the end of the season last year. I think he tore his ACL, but and then they got some guys on the defensive end that are leaving as well. But I think they'll be back.
Mm,
I mean,
yeah.
I think they'll at least be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they'll at least
And
be a
then
playoff team.
yeah, and then shout out Mason Holloman. who just committed to Illinois from
Illinois,
Lincoln
yeah.
Way East while we talking about them, the offensive
Yeah.
linemen. So yeah, they still got some guys, and like you said, they always gonna have some guys, but
Yeah.
it's just like not that star power right now. So we'll see what guys step up. But yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
probably my biggest question going into the season.
Yeah. That's a good question
What
mark to
about you?
have.
You got any of them? Any big question marks out there?
Going into the season,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
because I know we
Say.
just talked about St. Francis, talked about Lincoln Way East.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who we haven't talked about as far as question mark. Honestly, it would have been Lincoln Way East, but we already talked about Lincoln Way East. But outside of that, I would have to do more research to know who would be a question mark because I feel like most of the teams that were pretty good last year, like probably going to come back pretty decent.
Yeah,
Maybe if I'm just for the sake of conversation, maybe Joliet Catholic. I don't know. Like I said, I have to do more research. I'm pretty sure people in the comments will let us know. I don't know. I have to think about it a lot more. Byron maybe. Byron is a school that they had a lot of seniors. I know we what was the kid name that he committed to Illinois? He's the running back, probably had the best performance. Caden Considine.
yeah,
Yeah. And I know they lose a lot of those guys. Andrew, what's his name? Andrew was it Andrew Talbot or something like that. But I know Byron was a school that we didn't follow much of the year, but they played in the state championship against Toledo Unity, and that was probably the best state championship game of the whole weekend. I mean, the whole classes like that game was the crazy one. That was probably the best state championship game I've ever seen ever. In the state of Illinois. So maybe it's a question mark around Byron. I'm just saying stuff for the sake of conversation. Obviously there's no question mark around Montini. Montini could
uh,
be back and do some great things. And they have to move up this year, right?
hey, that I was just gonna say that. I
I
was
think
gonna
they
say
have
that's the
to.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
went back to back, right? So they have to move
yeah,
up because they're about to three-peat.
yeah,
So they're gonna be in
5A. Ooh, is it too early to talk about 5A?
5A is gonna be a very good class to be looking out for as far
Crazy.
as Fenwick is a question mark. I forgot to mention that. I saw Fenwick at St. Viator yesterday too. I talked to a lot of the guys, and it was good banter back and forth talking about pray. You like our pray for 6A ring and stuff, but it was cool though. I like those guys. They really cool. But I know I was asking them questions about how do they feel about coming back into the season. And they was like saying, they feel really good. They lost a lot. I know we mentioned Jake Dees is coming back, and I know it's like probably some other guys we're not mentioning that's coming back. But I like to see how they'll be next year. I don't think they'll be terrible, but what do we see them as a state championship team next year? I don't know if we even saw them as a state championship team last year
Yeah,
because of East St.
yeah.
Louis. But I think if I'm not mistaken, I heard that East St. Louis probably is going to go up to 7A this year.
Hmm,
Not
interesting.
entirely sure. I think that's what they was telling me. I didn't hear too much outside of that what they was telling me, but Fenwick may be a question mark that we can look at because they was a state championship team last year, and the Thieves brothers was that duo last year was in freaking insane. And I know Jake
Yeah,
Thieves is probably gonna be everywhere this year. Like I see him
yeah,
playing like he's just gonna be that hybrid athlete player that just does it all for them. So when you got to play like that in high school, I mean, one player that I could think of that was like that for a team that made a deep run was Miles
Mitchell.
Mitchell, because I want to say Miles Ellis so bad, but Miles Mitchell from
Yeah,
Richards a couple years ago, he was pretty much that guy that did everything. They pretty much gave him the ball on the offensive end, wildcat, whatever. If you need a touchdown, give it to Miles Mitchell. And then on the defensive end, he made big plays. We talk about the play that he made against Dunlap to seal the game, in the playoffs. So I'm sure Jake Dees is going to be that type of player for them. He's committed to Iowa, so I'm sure he's going to be that type of guy for them. Man, he's a freak athlete. He can also hoop, which is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like a freak athlete. So it's like, I'm sure he's gonna be that guy for them, man. When you got a guy like that on your team that can pretty much play everywhere for you and do anything for you, in high school football at least, you could take your team very far. So
yeah,
I'm not saying he's like gonna be the whole team, but when you got a guy like that and you can add pieces around that, I think they'll probably still be in good shape. Like I
for
said,
sure.
probably a playoff team. I just don't know if they'll be a state championship team. So I say Fenwick is probably my biggest question mark. No disrespect to Fenwick. This ain't a pray for
Yeah,
6A moment.
yeah,
This ain't a
yeah,
pray for
bro.
6A moment. This is me being honest as
No,
heck.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, man, I'm excited about that potential in 5A because I know we touched on it a little bit, but man, like having St. Francis, Providence, and then if Montini comes up in 5A, and then Oak Forest is still there, they made a decent run last year, losing to Providence. So that's gonna be crazy having those three Catholic schools in 5A. That's gonna be interesting. But man, Providence, they just they so young and they got so much talent. I
I
think that
like I
they're
like I
gonna
like
run the table.
Providence, bro. I like obviously it's too early, but I
Yeah,
like I like I think Providence going gonna really make some noise next year, especially because they're just young and they return a
yeah,
lot of players. They lost some
yeah,
seniors too, but they return like a lot of
yeah.
players
They
in key spots in key positions.
Yeah, but if Montini's in, man, Montini just having
I'm
Israel, they
excited for
just operating
all
on
I'm
another
saying is
level,
I'm
bro.
excited for next season, bro. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
about
for sure.
football. Like unfortunately basketball, we lose a lot of players often, but the thing about basketball is less positions to fill, so it constantly recycles, right? So it's like with football, the development, a lot of kids play up early that they stay alone for a long time. Like Quinn Burrell been on varsity for a long time, Marshawn Thornton, like that's what I like about football. Like a lot of these schools that are good, they play a lot of their underclassmen early or they start them early on varsity. And we get to see them for 2-3 years on varsity playing. And that's what I like about football. Basketball, on the other hand, is like we see a good player like a Devin Cleveland play his sophomore year and then he goes to a prep school. You know what I'm saying? Or Davion Thompson. We see him ball his sophomore year, and then he goes to a prep school, Link Academy. So I think with football, we see a lot of those players stay. And that's what I like about football a lot, which gets me excited coming into every single season to see, all right, we got a lot of matchups happening. And then when the seniors go out the door, then you already got a lot of underclassmen that were already a part of the championship teams that it's their turn to be the leaders and take the reins and we see them dominate, and then it just constantly keeps recycling. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
excited about. That's why I'm
yeah,
excited about this
definitely,
football season.
definitely. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. And then summer's coming up.
Summer coming up, summer camp tour. I'm excited. I talked to Coach White. We probably get out to Bennett for the summer camp tour. I know I talked to Coach Pettigrew during the basketball season, and he mentioned that reach out to him. We haven't fully confirmed it yet, but we'll probably be looking to get to Bolingbrook because I know we talked about T.J. Lewis and who's the other guy?
Darion Prescott.
Yeah, Darion Prescott. Yes, and probably some other people we're not even thinking about, right? But I know that's a school we want to get out to. Kenwood. I know we talked to Coach Seagoff. We'll probably get out to that one for the summer camp tour, and then King was another one that was on our radar as well. So we'll see though. Nothing's fully confirmed yet,
Right.
but those are the ones that's been on our radar. And obviously, we have some backups too if things don't work out because timing is everything, and sometimes timing just doesn't work out. Another thing with the football season, it's starting a week early because of the playoff expansion. So the season's going to start a week early. This football practice actually starts a week earlier as well. That was a bylaw that passed actually in the spring. We don't got to dive too much deep into that, but um, yeah, this football season is going to be very, very interesting. It's a lot of new things that happen with football this year. I mean, we talk about the spring combines, the playoff expansion. We'll see how that plays out where the top tier teams will get a bye and then the lower tier teams will have to play, uh, a first week or extra week of the season, we should say. It's still going to end at the same time, November, around the end of November, Thanksgiving weekend or Black Friday weekend, you want to call it. But that was the reason for starting the season earlier. And then the dead week, I know, is on a different week. So I like to see how all of this plays out for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and then, speaking of all of the changes, like, I feel like we getting more towards football being kinda year round, you know what I
I
mean?
thought
Like
you was about to say something else, bro.
wait,
Yeah, I
what?
know
What
what
you
you
thought I
mean.
was gonna say?
No, no. I thought you was gonna segue that to private public, bro. I'm like, hey,
Oh,
like
no,
how
no,
you
no,
gonna
no.
segue that? But
No,
yeah,
no, no, no. I was just saying, like,
yeah.
with the spring showcases that, they had their helmets on, they're competing a little bit, so could this be the first steps
We talked
into
about that too.
spring
Yep.
ball,
Yeah.
Like, I think that's naturally progressed to that.
I think it will be. I think it will be. I don't know how soon it will be, but here's the thing. Here's the game. I'm talking about the game like I've been a part of the IHSA for so long, but listen a lot in these meetings. I'm gonna be honest. I listen a lot in these meetings. And one thing I understand when it comes to bylaw changes, right? You can't make a drastic change right away. You gotta make the change make sense for that specific moment and then build on top of that change, right? So we talking about spring ball. I think the spring combine is a good start. It's a very good start to if we want to say we want to get to spring ball, if that's the idea, right? If we want to get to spring ball, I think the spring combine is a good start because then you build off that bylaw change and then you just add more to it. And you say, hey, spring combine is going to be in April and May. And then we want to establish let's just say 7-on-17, be able to get together and have, let's just say 4 or 5 7-on-7 games or whatever the case may be. How they want to structure it. Maybe that'd be to start 7-on-7, right? Schools are able to create 20 players, pick 20 players. They do it for free. It's free of charge. They play against, other IHSA member schools. It's a school team. And maybe that may be something that could pass. You know what I mean? So like maybe that can be like, all right, it's a form of spring ball. Or, and if that passed, maybe it could take another building block. Like say if something like that passed. I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm saying, say if the Football Coaches Association or whatever, or whoever thinks of this and it passes, then you could build on top of that. Like I say we get 7-on-7 league that's not with OT7, that's not with these other, all-star quote unquote teams or whatever. It's amongst the schools that's making these teams. And then you could just you just constantly just build. You know what I'm saying? You constantly got to just chip away at seeing what makes sense, So maybe, the spring combines a start, then maybe they can eventually get to a spring 7-on-7 team or whatever, and then maybe that 7-on-7 team can get to a spring full pads football. Who knows? We don't know. But I think it's a good start, bro. And I think if the coaches want it and they can be strategic on it and they all get together and say this is what we want, I think it happens. But the other tricky thing though, when it comes to it though, and somebody made a good point when we was talking about it at Naperville North, a lot of the kids play other sports, you know. There's kids that play, that run track, kids that play baseball. And that's going to be the toughest part when it comes to all of this. But then at the same time, it's like maybe the spring is not necessarily for the people who play multiple sports. Maybe it's for the people who only play football or who don't play spring sports. So we'll see. But I think it's a good start. I just know a lot of kids because we even seen it at the combines. Like I know one kid that we interviewed, he was saying that he hasn't got his football reps in yet because he's in track. You know what I mean? Or he's been
Yeah.
playing
I
baseball
think it
or
was
something like that.
Philip
Yeah.
from Kankakee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was just saying that. So I know a lot of kids play other sports, so it may be difficult to do it, but who knows, We'll see.
Yeah.
I just think the
I,
spring
I
combine's a good start.
I honestly, I don't think that's a determining factor. Like, I mean, if the
Other
kids, if
sports?
they, no, I don't think it matters. I know a lot of coaches don't like that, but I don't think it matters. Like, if they have spring ball, I think, because think about what's the difference between them playing 7-on-7. Like they go play 7-on-7 anyway in the spring. That's not stopping
True,
anything. So I mean,
true.
they do other things in the spring already in terms of football. Like they go to these camps, combine. They do football stuff in the spring as well as track. So I'm not saying that they will be able to do both. We haven't had it before. We don't know how that will work out. But if the guys decided like, hey, I'm not running track. I'm playing. I got spring ball. Then that's just what they decide to do. Honestly, for me, I feel like specialization at that level is more important. Especially to guys who know like this is my sport, this is what I'm playing. Like I'm not talking about specialization at the youth level, like play as many sports as you can. But when you start getting into high school, like sophomore year, the elite guys, I think specialization is kind of like a luxury. It's a privilege if you're elite early on and you could give time to another sport. But I feel like if you kind of just a okay athlete coming in as a freshman, you probably should kind of be focusing on this sport if this is what you want to take serious. That's just my opinion. So I don't think coaches should be afraid of like, oh, athletes are going to leave because there are some athletes who are track runners. Like I run track. I don't play football. I don't play basketball. I know a lot of guys are like, I'm a track runner and I'm going to college and run track. So that's just what they do. So I just think that shouldn't be a determining factor. Like, all right, well, is it going to take them out of other sports? Like, if that's what they want to do, then give them the opportunity to do that because it's such big business now. It's like
Yeah.
you're investor early on. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
and I'm not saying it'd be a determining factor. I'm just saying it'd be a factor that they have to consider or weigh
yeah, yeah.
in making sure that they draw up a perfect bylaw or whatever the case may be. But at this point, we're just speculating. We don't
Yeah.
know nothing about anything. I just think the spring combines, it would be a good start.
Yeah, definitely,
If we
definitely
want
a
to
great start.
eventually get to spring football, like some other states, I think the spring combines is a good start. You know,
Yeah. And don't get me wrong,
and
I
it
think they could
benefits
do
the
both.
kids. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Though I like it. It benefits. This is not something that helps the coaches. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it gets the
I
coaches
think it
to learn
does.
from each other. Yeah, it gets the coaches to
Yeah.
learn. I don't want to say it just all for the kids, but I think it benefits the kids the most. And I
Yeah.
think that's what I like about this. That's what I like about this change the most is that it benefits the kids the most. It gets them the looks. It gets them in front of college coaches a lot earlier, especially for
Yeah.
a lot of those underclassmen that we talked about. But yeah,
Yeah, I think it just creates the ultimate environment
yep. And they're
for
learning from other
development.
coaches. That was
And
another
that's
thing that I
exactly what
noticed
I was
too.
gonna say.
They learn from other coaches. So I know usually the coach that's hosting the combine does the talking, and he, is over the timing and the stages and switching around. But when they're in these groups, they're not being coached by, I mean, obviously they're probably still being coached by their regular coach, right? Because they're there, but they're getting coached up by a lot of these other coaches. And that's what we talked about. We talked about this a little bit back, that like the learning got to be a collective thing. Like we all got to uplift each other. So when the times come to football season, we're not necessarily on the same level playing field, but we've made the competition that much stronger, you know? And at the combines, we saw a little bit of that. We seen some of the top coaches from top programs coaching up some of these lower programs that may not, have had that much success as of late. So that's what I like about it too, is just collective learning. We're all learning together. We're all doing this together. And this is only the first year of it. You know what I mean? To be honest, this is probably the test run.
Yeah.
This year was probably the test run, to the point next year we're probably gonna see a lot more happening. And we probably see it happen early on. We'll probably see it
Yeah.
happen right away after basketball. You know what I mean? So, we'll see though. I'm excited to
Yeah.
see how this all plays out and how this this spring combine stuff expands, because I know it's going to expand because it's the first year. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be more dates next year, because I mean, they had a decent amount of dates this year, but I'm
No, they
sure more
did.
schools will probably wanna be involved and more coaches wanna be involved, and it was run so smoothly,
Oh,
so
it's very
efficient.
good.
You
Very
go to
good.
some camps and combines, it'd be hectic, but everything
Yeah.
was just moving, like, on good timing,
I
they were
think I
moving through
think
the
the only
stations quick.
Yeah, I think the only thing was, and I could just see it from my criticism, is just that sometimes it'll start a little late. I know Viator yesterday started late. Like I pulled up late and they was just getting started, and I was like 40 minutes late, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
I think they'll work that out, and they'll probably figure that out a lot better. And I know and I would say sometimes some camps, even though they had the space, like I would say Naperville North, I felt it was just maybe too many schools there. Like
yeah,
sometimes, like
Naperville North was, yeah.
I'm like, all right, bro, it's hard to see just everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to see everybody and move around, because once you get locked on a player, you're gonna want to watch that player. And it is just from my experience. Once you see
Yeah,
a player perform, you like, all right, bro, I'm locked in on this player. I want to see what he does throwing. And you kind of find yourself unintentionally or intentionally following them around, like that one player. So, and I think Sandberg, with it not being as much people, I think a lot of those coaches that was there were able to see a decent amount of different players from different schools, because it wasn't that big of a turnout for their camp. But Sandberg also had a smaller space to work with versus Naperville North. But Naperville North had like what, two practice turf fields to play on, so it was like
yeah,
they had the space to do so. But I think they'll figure that out. I think they'll figure out how to make it the perfect amount. They'll probably get some feedback from the college coaches, I would assume. I'm assuming they'll probably send out a questionnaire and say, what was your experience like? How can we make it better? X, Y, and Z. They'll probably ask the coaches' opinions. I'm sure they'll probably figure that out though. I know they did a great
yeah,
job with putting it on, and it's the first year. And for it to be a first year, I give it a A plus.
yeah, for sure,
So yeah, but
for
I
sure,
can't
for
wait to see
sure.
how it expands. Damn, it's hard to think, bro. We be talking, and they don't even realize we've been going for like 40 minutes, bro. Because I know we want to get into some Bears stuff. Was there
Yeah.
anything else on the high school level that we want to talk about or cover?
Yeah, I want to talk about Quinn Burrell.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
we just had a recent commitment. And there's been a bunch of commitments. Quinn Burrell commits to Michigan. Receiver, 6'3" receiver out
you
of
know what's
Mount
funny
Carmel,
about that?
4-star.
You know what's funny about that? You know how
What?
guys usually do a pump fake commitment, like picking a hat? He actually accidentally picked the wrong hat, bro. And then he was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
bro, I saw that.
nah." Yeah, that was funny though.
Yeah, bro, he
Yeah.
going viral now, man. Quinn, what
He
you
going
want? What
viral.
you?
Yeah, he on
Yeah,
every
leave him.
college platform now.
bro. That was crazy when I saw that. But yeah, shout out Quentin Burrell, man.
He
Top
may start a
receiver in the
trend.
state, goes to Michigan. Nah, that ain't the trend. It was already a trend to fake, do the pump fake. He did it on accident. So that man crazy. But yeah,
No,
like
that's
shout
fire
out
though.
to him. The first of that trio, that Mont Carmel trio to commit. We still waiting on Rome. We still waiting on Tavares. I know Tavares should be announcing soon. I
I
forgot the
think he
date.
said
I know he
next
just
week.
posted
I think he
next
said
week.
next week,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
wanted to get out to
I'm yeah.
Quinn's commitment, but I was just, we went to Sandburg early in the morning. I'm like, I need to get some rest, bro, because I
Yeah,
know I'm still
nah,
have to
for
drive back
sure.
to normal. But
Yeah, yeah, no, but yeah, so shout out to him. I'm anxious to see where the rest of the guys go. You know, Mark Cromwell, they loaded with a bunch of talent, a bunch of top rated
absolutely.
athletes. You still got younger guys that are coming up. It's too many to name, but for sure those three will be committing soon. I don't think Rome has a commitment day yet, but he is down to like a top five, I
They told
believe.
us
I saw.
July. They told us it'd probably be. Oh, I don't know if we're supposed to announce that. All right,
It's
wait,
good.
we'll
Just cut
wait.
it
We'll
out.
hold off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I cut
yeah.
that out. Yeah, I think they did send us when he'll be committing though.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
so
Well, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I want to give some shout outs too to other guys who committed from Illinois. So starting with Israel Abrams, obviously everybody knows he committed to Miami. Jake Nallrod, Hersey quarterback, Kentucky. Myson Johnson Cook running back, East St. Louis. He committed to Auburn. We got Quentin Burrell, who we just talked about, committed to Michigan, receiver out of Mont Carmel. We just recently this week had Cameron Wagner from St. Joseph Ogden, offensive tackle, commits to Oregon, 4-star. Mason Holloman, who we talked about from Lincoln Way East, Illinois. Then, you know, his future teammate, Justin Johnson from Evanston, cornerback, he committed to Illinois as well.
Darrell
Keyshawn
Madison
Taylor.
also. I don't know if you had Darrell Madison on your list.
No, Darrell Maddox, he remember he decommitted from Michigan.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's not at Michigan right now. I don't know. Maybe we see a recommitment in the future. I don't know where he ends up, but definitely looking forward to that. CPS guy. Keyshawn Taylor from Guilford Rockford Edge. He commits to Ole Miss. Uhimi Uzula. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. From St. Reed. That's the
No, bro. I met him
transfer.
yesterday. He told
How you
me how to
pronounce it?
pronounce it. I can't remember though. I got to see how it's spelled. But I asked
Okay,
him
all
that, bro. He
right.
gonna be
Well,
pissed.
he gonna be
I
pissed.
definitely asked him how to pronounce it yesterday. He definitely said he's Nigerian. So
Okay.
yeah, he's Nigerian. He's telling me he's Nigerian. So, but yeah, I don't know if
Well,
you
yeah,
pronounced it correctly, bro.
okay, well, my bad, bro. My bad. He committed to Michigan State. Jameson Purcell, quarterback, Maine South, committed to Indiana. Soren Pfeiffer, I believe, committed today from Morton, Illinois, the offensive tackle. He committed to Illinois. I believe that was today. Josiah Wallace, Glenbar West, offensive tackle, is committed to Northwestern. And then Jabari Lofton, safety from East St. Louis, 3-star, committed to Missouri. Tommy Reardon, edge from Hinsdale Central, committed to Iowa. David Hill, who we saw recently, Homewood Flossmoor D lineman, committed to
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Jake Thies, been committed for a while, safety out of
Iowa.
Fenwick to Iowa. And then we got Will Matee out of Loyola, linebacker, committed to Boston College. Luke N.J. Chalk, offensive lineman for Nazareth. He's committed to Missouri, 3-star. Jackie Ryder, who I had mentioned to you from New Trier,
Yeah.
quarterback, committed to
Quarterback.
Purdue. Yep, committed to Purdue. Gavin Erickson Staten, offensive lineman from Montini. He's committed to Iowa State, 3-star. Brady Johnson, tight end from Glenbar West, is committed to Northwestern. And then the last one is Dane Olmstead, who's a punter from Freeburg Community, a 3-star, and is going to Missouri.
Wow. A lot of
Yeah,
guys.
so far, that's
A lot of
what we
guys.
got so far.
And we're not
So,
even in the summer yet.
and I'm sure it's more that's committed, but that's not on the list. But yeah, shout out to them. And you know, I'm gonna give a random thought that I've been having about Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they land a top quarterback
Are you talking
from
about
the state of Illinois?
are you talking about like University of Illinois?
I'm talking about the University of Illinois. Why can't they land? Because none of the quarterbacks, so they do a great job at landing linemen. Defensive, offensive linemen from Illinois, perfect. They get them all the time. They get receivers and corners.
Receivers and
But
corners. Yeah.
like we had one of the best quarterback cycles in Illinois, like Illinois high school, and they weren't even considered in any of their top fives. I mean, you got Jonas Williams from last year, Colton Guminu, who's at UCLA, Jackie Ryder, and all of them are in the Big Ten as well. So, like, you know, you miss out on Israel, you miss out on Jake Nallrod, you miss out on Jackie Ryder from New Trier, who commits to Purdue. Both of the top quarterbacks last year that I just mentioned. Jonas Williams is in the Big Ten at USC. Colton is at UCLA in the Big Ten. None of them consider Illinois. And it's crazy all the amount of talented quarterbacks that we went through in these last 2 cycles, and none consider Illinois. I just don't. I can't understand that. I guess I have to ask them.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they focus a lot more. Or maybe they. I don't know. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
question.
because I mean, Luke Allmeyer graduating, a guy that was, playing for Illinois for the last 3 years, who was the main guy to start a QB1, he's making his exit, and, I mean, you would love to have a Israel Abrams or a Jake Norrod to come right in, and for the next 4 years, 5 years, you got a starting quarterback, that's an Illinois native, like, so I just thought about that, just seeing all of the quarterbacks come in and like, dang, none of them even consider Illinois, not even in the
Yeah,
top 5, not one. So that's interesting.
yeah.
But yeah, that was just something random. I just threw that in there as a random thought that I had. But
That's a good question. We'll probably revisit
yeah,
that soon. I'm sure, and I'm sure we'll probably have more conversations around it off camera to figure that out. Because that is a good question. I mean, you named a lot of good quarterback talent, and you even mentioned that not even to consider, not even
yeah,
consider
like
is like top 5, top 4. So
yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
super interesting to me. So,
we'll see.
but yeah, man, I think it's time. It's Bears time, man. I think it's Bears time. Unless you got something else you want to talk about high school level with, it's that time, bro.
No, I know we have public-private split on our list, but no, that's gonna turn into a whole nother conversation that we'll save that for down the
Yeah,
line.
yeah,
But yeah, the Bears schedules got released today. Officially, I know it was leaked a lot. A lot of the games was leaked a couple days ago or yesterday or maybe yesterday, whatever the case is, but it's official now. And I think we could probably just choose this as, some predictions for next season to predict their record. Or do you want to go about this differently? How you want to go about this?
No, I think we could do that. I think that's cool. I think we
But to
go
start
through this.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go through the schedule. But to start off, my bad to cut you off. To start off, we do have the toughest schedule this season based on opponents' win percentage last season. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, and I got a crazy stat for you. I got a crazy stat for you
Let's
based
hear
on
it.
that information. Oh, they said that I think I was watching the Get Up show or something, one of these shows I was watching, but they said that 7 of the last 10 teams in the NFL that opened the season with the toughest schedule didn't make the playoffs. Oh, I'm not saying that that's going to happen to the Bears. I'm not saying, because I honestly don't see a world where they don't make the playoffs this season. But that stat is just should be concerning to some Bears fans. Like that 7 of the last 10 didn't make it. So and then you got the toughest schedule. So I don't know. Should Bears fans be worried based on that information alone?
I'm gonna say this. With the division that we're already in, that makes our schedule already tough, right? So I think we split every game besides the Lions last year. So the Lions swept us in the division I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Lions swept us, but we split Minnesota, which I feel like we should have swept Minnesota. And then we split the Green Bay game, which both games we were in, we could have won. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Not saying we should have, but we were in both games. So that's that every year, right? Like that already makes our schedule hard. No, what makes our schedule slightly easier, if you want to say last year was slightly easier, was the teams that we played in the other divisions, right? So, like a team like the Raiders, a team that we almost lost to. People talk
yeah, yeah.
about
I
that
was
we
just
were a
gonna
field
say
goal, well, we were a
that.
field goal block away from losing that
Yeah,
game or something like that. Or a team like the Bengals, we, you know, late game touchdown from connecting to Cole Kmet from Caleb Williams, and so we was in a lot of those types of games last year. And I'm like, yeah, it could be a little concerning, but at the same time, I think we'll be a more polished offense. Defensively, it's a question mark. Just because, we didn't resign a lot of the players in the secondary and we let, some players go as well. And we drafted some players too. And that's the question mark. But at the same time, it's like, I think as long as our offense builds on what we did last year, and I know we drafted a bunch of skill positions again, but we also drafted some linemen, and it was just like, all right, but I trust it. I trust that whatever we're planning to do on the offensive end, at least, I can see it being better than last year. And then on top of that, we traded away DJ Moore, which we knew was going to happen. I suspect that we're going to trade Cole Kmet at some point. I don't know if it's going to be before the season or if it's going to be at the trade deadline or if it's going to be at the end of next season. But I know we're going to trade him. It's just, it's one of those decisions that we don't hate the guy, we love the guy, but it's just great business to do so. You know what I mean? Like DJ Moore, I was shocked that we got a second round pick from DJ Moore. I thought we would get a third, fourth round at best. You know what I mean? But
Right.
the fact that we were able to trade DJ Moore for a second rounder to the Bills, was telling. But it was just one of those. It was a good business decision. We got too many people eating from the cookie jar, or whatever the case, whatever analogy you want to use. So I saw that coming. But to say that we're coming to next season and not make the playoffs, I don't see a world where we don't make the playoffs. And I don't know if I'm being delusional Bears fan or if I'm just that confident in our team, but I don't see a world with that because of the last time. Let's just talk about this. The last time when let's just talk about our last. That's 2 quarterbacks ago. I'm not going to talk about Justin Fields. I'm going to talk about Mitchell Trubisky. That year when Matt Nagy came in the first year, and Matt Nagy won Coach of the Year. We went 12-4, and that was a double doink season. And if we, I really truly believe that we were so hot at that specific time. If we don't have that double doink, we probably could have maybe rode that to a Super Bowl. Not a Super Bowl win, but maybe to a Super Bowl appearance, right? And then we come back the next season with a harder schedule, a tougher schedule, and we don't make the playoffs, you know? And do we see ourselves doing that? I don't know, and I don't think so because we have a competent quarterback. I'm so confident to say that Caleb Williams is our guy, where the other two guys, it was always a question mark coming into their third season. Mitch Trubisky, we had a 12-4 season, but we still had a question mark around him because a lot of that season when Mitch Trubisky was playing was a lot of it had to do with the defensive turnovers. The defense scored a lot of our points. It's crazy to say. That's when we had Khalil Mack and we had Hakeem Hicks and we had Eddie Jackson and, all of those guys that was just causing turnovers for us. And we went 12-4 that season. Coming into that next season, we had Mitch Trubisky taking snaps and it was like, this guy's not progressing. So then we fast forward to Justin Fields. We had Justin Fields and it's not like he got worse, but he didn't get better and he wasn't progressing. Coming fast forward to Caleb Williams, year one and year two leaps. You know what I mean? So coming into year three, and especially with how many games he actually was the reason why we were in it and won. You know what I mean? Like we talk about the crazy throws. He had two probably arguably best throws of the season last year in the
Yeah.
playoffs. We talk about the throw, the little whatever silhouette that he made from the toss to Rome Odunze when we was playing the Packers. And then we talk about that throw when he ran backwards and threw it to Cole Kmet for a touchdown. Those are arguably two of the best throws of the whole season. You know what I mean? And he had many type of times where he made those type of plays. I talked about earlier when he had a throw to who was it? Colston Loveland when we played the Bengals, won the game. So I think with having a quarterback like that, if we have the game close, I feel confident in us in winning. I'm not saying that's a formula for winning next season, and I hope it's not that our formula for winning next season, but I'm confident that we can at least make the playoffs. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say we're going to be like how many wins as we had last year. It's going to be a lot tougher to get that many amount of wins, but I suspect that we can make the playoffs. And that's because I trust the competency in our quarterback. I trust our front office. People have a question mark around how Brian Poles drafted this year, but the other years he drafted pretty well. Last year he drafted tremendously, so it's like I'm confident in what we're building, and we got a competent coach.
Yeah.
Now, is it a year under people have a year of film on Ben Johnson, and do we see a regress on play calling? Just like Matt Nagy had a good year of a somewhat decent year of play calling, and then he just didn't adjust, and we saw, people had film on him, and he just, turned out not to be the coach for us, even though he wasn't really that terrible of a coach if you want to compare him to Matt Eberflus. But I'm just confident in how we're doing things now with the Bears. I think we can make the playoffs.
Yeah. And I would agree with you on the making the playoff part, but the only part that's alarming to me is obviously the defensive side of the ball. I
Defensive
mean, you
side.
got rid of so many players in the secondary, players who were responsible for those 33 turnovers that we had leading the NFL, and that's what gave you the opportunity to win those games. I mean, my motto is offenses win championship, defenses give you a chance, and the Bears defense gave Caleb Williams a chance to make those plays. But Tremaine Edmonds gone, Kevin Byard gone, Jaquan Brisker gone, CJ Gardner, those guys are gone. Guys that had over 400, what
Would
you
have
gonna say?
liked to see us resign Brisker. If it was anybody from
Yeah.
that, I would have liked to see us resign Brisker. But continue, my
Yeah.
bad.
No, I was just saying, like, these are guys that gave you majority of your production and they're gone. So obviously, Devin White is now here at linebacker from the Browns. You got Dylan Thieneman, you got Kobe Bryant from Seattle, and these guys haven't shown the same productions as the guys you got rid of, at least not yet. So there has to be a question mark there, right? So let's say they don't show up like this former, like the past core that left out. Where does that leave the Bears in terms of being able to win these games?
It's a good question.
Like that's the biggest question mark, because you have what, seven game winning drives, and I remember last year I was saying, like, that's not a good way. That's not a sustainable way. That's not a sustainable way to play football. So a lot of those games you get out of there, you just barely escape and get out of there. But does that happen this season? I don't think so, because I don't know if this defense is even going to give you that same type of production where you're even in a situation where you can win those games and Caleb Williams can go do his thing. Now, in a perfect world, they come out and they give you the same type of production that you had last year. You lead the league in takeaways, and you do just enough to give your offense, your high power offense, enough to take over games and win games. But that's not a formula for success in the NFL. So I think that would be my biggest question mark on the success, is that defensive group going to show up like last year? Because they weren't that good by any means. Like, I'm not saying it like the Bears were a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Weren't terrible.
I mean,
no, it was so weird, bro. It was like a tale of two halves with that defense last year.
It was like flashes. It was like flashes.
So
it was
crazy,
like ups and
bro.
downs. But again, though, that puts you in a vulnerable situation where you're trying to win games, and you're just relying on a completely new group to replicate or be better. Because obviously the goal is to be better. But even if you could replicate what you did, you're in good hands. But if you get worse, you're in trouble. If the Bears defense is any bit of worse than they were last year, then I think it's a long season for the Bears. But obviously in the draft offensively, like, we can rave about the offense. They went out and they drafted Sam Roush, tight end, and then you have Luther Burden, you have Cole Kmet, you have Colston Loveland, you have Kalmanungai, DeAndre Swift. Like, you have every single Rome Odunze, and even though he's coming off of the foot injury and he missed some games last year, but I think he's going to come out explosive as well. But the offense is nothing. There's nothing to assess there. We know what we're getting here. We're getting offensive explosion. We're getting Ben Johnson creativity. But that defense just has to give them a chance. They just have to give them a chance.
I agree. Do you think Ruben Hippolyte comes in and starts next year with
shout out Ruben?
Yeah, shout out Ruben. You think he comes in and start at linebacker position?
I don't know.
He was our 3rd or 4th round pick last year.
I think he was a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
Right now, if I'm looking at the depth chart, they have him as 2nd string behind Devin Bush at weak side linebacker. So I mean, obviously it's early on right now, but that's just what the depth chart is showing at this moment. So yeah, I mean, it's a competition. Positions are there to be taken and to be won. So camp is coming up soon, and yeah, I mean, everybody has a shot. So that man said, "I love football."
My gosh, bro.
Yeah,
because if you really think about it, we're pretty much practically the 14th. We're practically already through May. We're halfway through May already, pretty much at this point. And camp season, man, whether it's on the high school level or on the professional level or college level, football is practically back. If you really think about it.
A lot of football to be played, man. A lot of football, and this year we gonna cover the Bears just like we cover high school football every game. We know we podding, so that's what I'm most.
I don't know why we didn't do it last year, because we would talk about it off camera all the time.
I don't know, bro. We fools.
Yeah, you would be a hater off cam, and I'd be the person that's that. What flavor no cap is that?
This strawberry dream, man.
That's
Strawberry
low
dream.
key
Go
the
get
best
you
flavor,
some,
bro.
man. I don't know, bro. I think watermelon really the best. That's the best one I had. The
Watermelon?
watermelon one. Yeah, the watermelon one. Fire, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shout out No Cat,
I
man.
like the apple one too.
Yeah.
The apple one. My bad. I'm getting
But
back on
no,
topic.
but yeah, so I mean, getting into the schedule, I mean, we already set out, we kind of mapped out what the Bears look like going into the season, and I mean, let's get into some of these games, man.
All right, I'll start first. We play the Panthers away going into to start the season next year. A week one road opener for the Bears. Obviously, we traded with the Carolina Panthers. They the number one pick back in was it 2023?
Yep.
And we ended up picking Caleb Williams with the trade off, and we got their number one pick the following year. And we also got DJ Moore in that trade, and so on and so forth, Luther Burden, and all of these players that we got, from that trade. But they have Bryce Young still at the quarterback position. They went 8-9 last year in the NFC South, and they were the NFC South champions. I really dislike the NFC South, but anywho, because that's all they, bro. I'm telling you this. I remember one year the Carolina Panthers went like 7-9 and like one, bro, and they made a playoff. They made a playoff appearance. This is when Cam Newton was the quarterback, and they beat like an
Yeah.
11-5 Cardinals team. And I'm like, bro, no, bro. But anywho, I digress. Carolina was actually not bad last year. They're 8-9,
No.
but I don't think 8-9 tells their record. Did they have a? They almost had a playoff win last year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, they played the Rams, I
The
believe.
Rams,
They
yeah.
did. Yeah,
They lost to the
they
Rams
lost
34 to 31.
34-31.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so coming to this game though, if I'm making a prediction, if we want to go through this quickly and make a prediction, 89 record last year, the Panthers. I got the Bears winning this, man. Coming into the season on the road. I got the Bears. I think this is gonna be our first winner of the season. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a must win. I'm gonna say that it's a must win going into because I don't want to get too far into the schedule, but they're gonna hit a rough patch. Like they're gonna hit a tough point in the schedule coming up after the first 3 or 4 games. But
I think
I
the
think the
first three,
Panthers, the first three are must wins. I think
yeah.
they're must wins.
And I think they are
So
winnable. Very winnable.
definitely,
Every
I
game
think
is
the
winnable, of
Panthers.
course.
Yeah. So the Panthers game, I think they win that game. I think they win that game. I don't think it's a give me game. I don't think that I should just they go in there and expect to blow them out. I think it's gonna be a tough game. Two former number one picks, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams. Bryce Young had the best career, his best season of his career last year, throwing for 3,000 passing yards, 23 touchdowns. So he's kind of like finding his footing in the league. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think defensively, the Panthers are probably a little bit better than the Bears, but I think offensively, they have so many weapons. And I think that's what a lot of these games are going to come down to shootouts. Like I think that we went through all of the offensive weapons. You got more offensive weapons than anybody in the NFL. Yeah, I would say that they probably have more offensive weapons than anybody in the NFL. So I think they handle this convincingly against the Panthers.
I agree. Going on to week two. Week two, we play our home opener against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, last year we started the season against the Minnesota Vikings, which is a game that we should have flipping won. But coming into this year, I mean, what they got Kyler Murray. You think Kyler Murray gonna be taking the snaps? Probably Kyler Murray, and they'll probably
Man,
have JJ McCarthy backing them up.
I mean, that's what the projections look like. But I mean, as I'm gonna continue to say, every position is a battle. Nothing is given. So I'm sure that they're gonna compete, and we'll see who's named the starter. But a lot of people are saying like this is where Kyler Murray is gonna revive his career. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Sam Darnold, before they drafted JJ McCarthy, Sam Darnold came in. Oh, actually, no. They drafted JJ McCarthy, got hurt, and Sam Darnold came in and played pretty well for them. So who knows? I mean, we'll see. But I say that to say this. I got the Bears winning this one as well. I think if we're talking about teams in that division, I would say Vikings are probably the least scariest team, or
Yeah,
the team that we have to worry about the least.
I agree.
I know we split with them last year, but I really feel like we should have swept them, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. I think this year we're coming in with more confidence, and we progressed a lot throughout the season last year. When we started off the season, we kind of looked like the old Bears, same old
Yeah,
Bears, and then as the season progressed, we're like, all right, something's changing here, right? And I think coming into this season, we got a lot of high expectations as fans, and I think they have a lot of high expectations as players too for themselves. So I say we
yeah.
come in, first home game of the season, I say we get a dub. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
and not only get a dub, but I think they sweep this year. I
And
think
they
they
sweep?
sweep the Vikings. I think they sweep. I think they get it done. That last year, you get that out the way. I think this is a much better offensively. This is a much better team. So I think the offense can win you this game. You know what I mean? I can't speak on the defense because the defense is fairly new, but I think that another year, Caleb's third year, he takes that next step to being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, MVP type of season. You have again every weapon that you could possibly want. But I think they sweep. The Vikings, they're going through a sort of a rebuild. Not necessarily. I mean, you have a new quarterback, but that's a rebuild to me if you got a new person taking the snap. So yeah, I think the Vikings got a lot to work on. It may be a little rough season for them as they get acclimated with possibly a new quarterback. So I think the Bears come in as the more polished football team and they sweep.
All right. So right now we got the Bears sitting at 2-0 after week 2. Coming into week 3, they play the Philadelphia Eagles at home. Philadelphia Eagles had a playoff exit last year. We could have easily had replayed them last year, but we played them in the regular season. We could have played them again in the playoffs. Had the potential to play them in the playoffs, but they lost, and we ended up playing the Rams. Huh. We're home playing the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles did win a Super Bowl. Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Um,
Something like that.
something like that. Recently, I don't know. Eagles have been Eagles, they won 2 years ago. I remember thinking coming into last season, the Eagles that they were probably gonna be back in the Super Bowl, and it was weird to see that they weren't really the same team that they were as far as, like, performance-wise, right? And obviously the schedule gets tougher or whatever, and when we played them, I thought we won pretty convincingly. You know, I know it wasn't like a blowout or anything, but I thought we pretty much handled them the whole game. I remember watching it while I was at the state championship game for high school football, and I thought like, wow, we're playing pretty well, and a lot of plays that we had ran up to perfection, and us being at home, I don't want to be crazy, but I think we get a dub at home against the Eagles. But if there is a game that we drop the first game of the season, like first loss, I think it would be against the Eagles. But me being a Bears fan, I'm gonna go ride with the Bears, and I say we start off 3-0. What are your thoughts?
Why you acting like that? Like why you seem so like unconfident about it? Like,
No, I
bro,
feel confident, but I'm saying
they
if there
whooped
is a
on them
game,
last year. They
if there
whooped on
is a
them.
huh? You
Act
said
like they
what?
I said they whooped on them last year. Act like they whooped on them. Like you acting like they beat them
It's a
last
new
year.
season. It's a
Man,
new
I don't
season
care. The
though.
same and no big roster changes for the Eagles. I mean, if anything, the Bears got better, but they held Saquon to 50 some yards. They ran
But the
crazy. Kalmanungai
defense,
and DeAndre Swift.
we talked about our defense though. I'm over here playing devil's advocate with my Bears, but
Right, man. What's
we
wrong
talked
with
about the
you?
question mark on here's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
Coming into next season, I'm not gonna feel any. I got confidence, all the confidence in the offense. It's just that question
Mm-hmm.
mark on the defense, and I don't know. I think the first 2 weeks will be telling them how well the defensive is, but I think that game is gonna really be where our defense is probably gonna be tested. I would think, you know what I mean, because the offense have played with each other already. No, we just been building on the offense. The defense is the question mark, and that's the only reason why I would say if there is a game that we would drop first game of the season, it would be that game. But that's just me. But I think we will win that game at home. I'm saying we're starting off 3-0. What are you saying?
Okay.
Do we
No,
get a
I
dub?
agree. I got them. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. I'm confident in the Bears beating the Eagles. Like I have them winning. No bias, nothing. I think that they go out and they beat the Eagles. Like I think they're a better football team than the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
No brainer for me.
I agree. Going into next week, I think this is a must-win game. If we don't win this game, oh, please throw the season away. But I'm not even going to dwell too much on it. It's the Jets. The Jets are the Jets, and they have always been the Jets, and the Jets are trash.
Yeah, bro.
Trash. Trash. I got us winning this game. I say we start off 4-0. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's none to unpack there, bro. None. They started the season last year on a 7-game losing streak. Finished season 3-14. Bears blowout. We don't need to spend too much time there.
Exactly. So we got the Bears starting off 4-0. It's crazy. We got the Bears starting
Even
off
for
4-0.
me, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But no, I think so, bro. I really do. I think 4-0. But I don't know.
The
It's
following
gonna get
week
a little
we play
shaky.
at
It's gonna get a little
Lambeau.
shaky.
Following week we
Here's
play
where
at
it get interesting.
Lambeau against the Packers, our arch nemesis, our ops, as you would say. And we play actually 325 or 330, whatever they want to call it, on October 11th in Green Bay. We played Green Bay, what, 3 times last year? And we won 2 out of the 3 times, even though all of those games were pretty close games. I know the first game was pretty much controlled by Green Bay for the most part. The second game was pretty much controlled by actually, all the games were pretty much controlled by Green Bay. It's just the last 2 we actually came back and won. I don't think that's a recipe for success this year. I think we actually gotta, come out strong, but being realistic just to see how we start off the season, and I think as the season progresses, we're gonna get better. I just think this is the first game we'll probably drop, just the way it is. Like, it's Green Bay aren't no scrubs. They're clearly not no scrubs, and they have a good offense and question mark on the defense. I think this may be a game where our defense could potentially say get exposed. I don't know if that's the best word to say, because I don't want to say exposed like, haha, you're bad, but question mark on the defensive end got me thinking that this is the game where our defense kind of just, gets torched. Maybe I'm not gonna say it'll be a blowout. I think it'll probably be a shootout where Green Bay probably becomes victorious in the game and we fall 4-1. What are your thoughts? And
Yeah,
it's away, and we're on the road in Lambeau. So
yeah, exactly, and that's why I will have them dropping this game. This is probably gonna be the toughest game of the season up until that point. Toughest game that you play. Last year, like you said, 2-1 record against the Packers. The Packers are going to come back. They signed Zaire Franklin from the
and they're gonna
Colts.
be
So
off
you
of
add to
blood.
the yeah, they're gonna be off of blood. Micah Parsons is gonna be back healthy. Even though in the first game he
No,
did play. Wait, what?
no, Michael
Is
Parsons
Micah
not
gonna
gonna
be?
be back by then, is he?
What? How
He
long? How
tore he
much?
tore his ACL.
Yeah, but what week? Because they coming back within a year now.
But
So
yeah, you're right. The sign them as
you know
sports
what I
medicine and
mean.
stuff. Yeah, they're coming back a lot
Yeah,
quicker now.
I mean, maybe he's back. I don't know, but if
And
he is
it's week
back,
5,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
it's
By
week
week
5
5,
too.
I would think he's gonna be back because
Right.
it's definitely been over a year. Because when did he got hurt around that time? It's been like it was what, like maybe week 6, 7 or something like that.
Did he get hurt playing us?
It might have been that one or somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. I don't.
And that
Let
would
me
have been later
see.
in the season. I don't know. But like you said, they're coming back quicker now, and Michael Parsons is a freak athlete, so we'll see. But I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
December 14th is when he got hurt against the Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos. Okay, so
Yes.
I don't know.
It says he's expected to miss the first 3 to 4 games of the 2026
Okay, so
season.
that may be the game he actually comes back then.
Yeah, so dang, what did Micah Parsons return game and
Yeah.
Green Bay? Yeah, so I think the Bears dropped that one. I think the Bears dropped it.
Yeah, but starting the season off 4-1, I mean, that's not bad because the following week we play on the road again, and we are in Atlanta, and Atlanta has a lot of question marks. They have a lot of changes that have happened. They let go of Kirk Cousins is out of there, although he did lose starting position. I mean, they still have a developing quarterback taking the snaps. So I think that's a very winnable game for us, and I think we will win that game. And I say we start the season off 5-1. That's a strong start for the Bears, man. That is crazy.
Yeah, it
What are your
is.
thoughts? But we
Yeah,
are on the road in Atlanta.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I would have said that if Kirk Cousins was still there, I probably would have the Bears dropping this game.
Kirk Cousins wasn't even taking the snaps second half of the season
Towards-
last year.
No, he was
No,
at the end of the season.
well, if Mike did Michael Penix get hurt? That's Michael
Yeah,
Penix got hurt because Kirk
because
Cousins was starting. Kirk Cousins started off the season, and then they benched him and played Michael Penix. And then if Michael Penix, I don't remember if Michael Penix. I wasn't following the Falcons heavy last year. I'll be honest.
okay.
But if Michael Penix got hurt, then Kirk Cousins probably came
No,
in.
Kirk Cousins finished the season. I mean, they played Tampa Bay week 15. He threw for 373. Played Arizona 197. Played LA 126, and they beat Los Angeles by 3 points. New Orleans 19-17. So they went off on a win streak. They won 4 games in a row. And they was, finished the season with some momentum, and that would have been a sleeper team that I think would have gave the Bears some problems. I don't know how Michael Penix shows up, but I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they got Bijan Robinson, arguably the best running back in the NFL. They got
Very
some
true.
weapons. Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna be sweet. I don't think that this is a game that they just
Kyle
gonna
Pitts, Drake
come in and
London.
win. Yeah, Cal, yep, Drake London, yep. So I actually have the Falcons winning this game. I have the Falcons winning this game.
Oh, so you got the Bears starting off 4-2. So I
Yep.
got the Bears starting off 5-1. You got the Bears starting off 4-2. So keep track of your record right now. You got
All
four
right,
and two.
bet. All
I got
right,
5-1 right now. So dang. So Bears
all
start.
right.
It's still that's still not bad. Start off. I know we started off the
Yeah.
season similar to that a little bit last year, maybe 4-2, 4-3, maybe. But anywho, following week we will play the runner-up Super Bowl team, New England Patriots at home. I know that Patriots lost Stephon Diggs, but that doesn't really matter because they still have their star quarterback in Drake May. Huh. This would be a good one. I think this will actually be a really good game. And this looks like it's going to be Sunday night football at 7:15. Wait, hold on. Is that AM or PM? Am I reading that correctly? That says PM. That'd be Sunday night football, right? Let's look that up real quick. That look like prime time Sunday night football.
I believe so.
Let me make sure.
Bears have 6 primetime games
Hell yeah, let's
this
do it.
season.
Let me see though. I just want to make sure this one is actually not Monday night. What date does that say? October 22nd. No, Thursday night on Amazon Prime. Night
Okay.
game. Thursday night primetime game on Amazon Prime. We play at home against the Patriots. Prime time Thursday against the Patriots. I damn, because I'm trying to be
He
realistic, but at
said, "Damn."
the same time, like I feel like that's a winnable game for us too at home.
Well,
But
Imma go ahead. You unsure, Imma go ahead and add that 3 to they loss record, man.
you gonna add
4
the
they'll
three.
be 4 and
I
3.
add the extra one. I add the extra loss. I'll make them five and
Yeah,
two.
man.
So you got them 4-3. I got them 5-2. You got to drop into the Patriots.
Yeah, man. 14 and 3 AFC East champs. They made it to the Super Bowl. Drake threw for 45 100 yards. You know what I mean? I mean, you lose Stephon Diggs, but Romeo Doubs is there now.
Yeah,
Romeo Doubs from Green Bay is there. But man, I think they dropped this one. I think the Patriots is just simply a better team.
and they got a good defense too. So
Yeah, they got a great defense. So
yeah,
yeah, I got them dropping that one.
I got them dropping that one too. And then we play the Super Bowl. Wait, hold on. Who made this schedule, bro?
Hey,
We got
hey,
two of the
bro.
teams that played in the Super Bowl last year back to back.
Yes, sir. It's got
Am
to
I
get
looking at
interesting
this
now.
correctly?
Yeah, bro. Go ahead.
Wow. And I got them dropping to the Seahawks as well on November 2nd on the road. What they call it, the 12 man. I got them dropping to the Seahawks.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I got them starting off as much as they started off five and
Hot.
one, hot five, and I got them dropping to 5-3.
Yeah, I got them 4 and 4. Yeah, Seattle is Seattle, man. Sam Darnold and them boys, like that. Yeah, that I don't because it was a conversation around last year. People were having that question, because if they had beaten the Rams, they would have went over to Seattle and played. And how would that game have looked? I think it would have been a blowout, honestly. But we'll see going into a brand new season. I think that's best to see them in a brand new season. If you added some weapons, I think it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough outing. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna
I
be a
think so
tough outing
too.
for the Bears, bro.
I think so
And you
too.
at
But luckily,
Seattle.
yeah, but luckily for us, we played I don't know if that's lucky for us, but we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the following week at home, right before the bye. I think after us losing 2 straight games, you got
Mhm.
it 3 straight games. I think we'll be looking to get back on the winning side, and I say we playing at home. We're gonna be playing a lot harder. We already will be battle tested with 2 back-to-back, 2 teams that played in the Super Bowl back-to-back weeks, and I say we get a W against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home before the bye week. What do you think?
Absolutely. I agree with you. They dealt with some injuries last season. I shout out Bucky Irving. He dealt with some injuries, still dealing with some injuries. I think he's questionable right now, even going into the summer and camp with his shoulder, I believe. But yeah, Baker Mayfield dealt with some injuries as well. So I mean, honestly, if they can get healthy, it's a different story. But just based on what I saw last year and their health right now, yeah, I'll say the Bears could win that one before the bye week for sure. I'll get the Bears that win.
Okay, so I got them at 6-3 right now going into the bye week. You have them at 5-4 going into the bye week,
Yeah,
which is not
yeah.
terrible.
No, not
Six
bad,
and
not
three,
bad at
five and
all.
four with the
Yeah,
teams. Like you just went through freaking a battle, a couple battles going into the bye week. 6-3, that's not bad. 5-4, that's not bad. Coming back from the bye week though, we play the New Orleans Saints at home at noon. I got us winning that game. I know
yeah,
New Orleans got a lot of work to do on their end. I mean, they were in a, I would say, pretty easy division, but
yeah.
I got us beating New Orleans coming back from the bye week, and I have us starting the season off 7-3, which is not bad.
Yeah, I'll have them 6-4, and yeah, they beat the Saints. You know, last year they beat them 26-14. So yeah, I think they handled them convincingly.
Yep.
So
But
six and four.
then we have a short week, because we play on Thanksgiving. Or wait, is that Thanksgiving?
Let's
Let's
see.
see. Hold on. Yep, that
Yeah, I
is
think that is a
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
That's
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
26.
And so
Yeah,
we have a short week where we play the Detroit Lions at noon on Thanksgiving at Detroit. I would
didn't
say, huh?
didn't something crazy happen the last time Chicago was played at Detroit
On Thanksgiving.
on Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
Didn't something
that
crazy
was the
happen?
debacle of like the time management and stuff, and nobody took
Yeah,
blame for it. Like they blamed Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams, the rookie, where the head coach should have called it. Don't get me started with Matt Eberfluk.
man,
But
dang, that's what you on.
yeah, but we'll be in Detroit on Thanksgiving. I will say historically, our quarterbacks from our last two quarterbacks at least have always played well in Detroit. But on Thanksgiving in Detroit, and we got swept by Detroit last year, and Detroit hasn't made any massive changes, at least offensively.
I think David Montgomery got traded to Houston, and they got a Isaiah Pacheco in the running back. But that's nothing
Yeah,
that's
I would.
altering the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that's a drastic change though, because
nah,
you still got the main guy in the backfield, and then you still got
yeah,
your receiving core, you still got your quarterback.
yeah.
I mean, we didn't lose terribly to them. Well, the first game we lost terribly to them
The first
last
game,
year,
yes,
but the last
yes.
game of the season we didn't lose terribly to the Lions. But I do think we fall this game in Detroit. I think we fall this game to Detroit because we're in Detroit. I think Detroit playing at home, I think they'll probably have a better chance of winning. And I got the Bears falling to 6-4. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 6 and
I mean, not
5.
my bad. 7-4. 7-4.
Yeah. I got them dropping that one in Detroit, man.
7-4.
Detroit, you know, they super explosive. They got all of the weapons. Amon Ra, you know, they got the two backfield still, adding Isaiah Pacheco. And I think they're gonna be super explosive, and it's gonna be high scoring. I do think it's gonna be a closer, high scoring game. I don't think they're just gonna get blown out like it did last year. In that opener at against the Lions, but I do think the Lions take this game 12.
I agree, man. I agree. Going
Or
on
week
to the
12, week 12.
yeah. Is that week 12? Damn, we already there?
Yeah,
7 and what I got him at 7-4? Yeah. Week
yeah, I got
12.
them at
And you got him at
6 and 5.
6-5. Still not terrible for the teams they played so far. So following week they'll be playing the Jaguars at home, and I got the Jags jagging that game, and we're gonna win that game and get a dub. And I say we go to 8-4 at home on
Man,
December 6th. You got the Jaguars beating us at home, bro?
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say it.
Oh,
I didn't
I was
even
about to
say it. I
say.
didn't get to my point. I didn't get to my point, but I was gonna say it's gonna be a tough one, man. It's gonna be a tough one because Trevor Lawrence is another guy that seems like he's found his footing after like a shaky couple of years. Now, you know, he threw for the 4,000 yards last year, 29 touchdowns. Travis Hunter is going to be back healthy. You know, you lose him to the Saints. No, I think the Jaguars are kind of similar to the Bears. They super explosive, got a bunch of weapons, but you got to come to Chicago, man. Y'all Florida boys got to come to Chicago and play at Soldier Field.
And
By
it'll be
this
cold
time, it's
around that
probably gonna be
time.
cold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I was gonna say
cold.
it's probably gonna be cold around that time. Yeah, I'm taking the Bears. I think the Bears gonna get them. I don't know if the Jaguars are legit, but I guess that's a question for both teams. But I'm
With
taking the
Travis
Bears
Hunter
over the
returning
Jags.
from injury, I'm really curious on how they're going to use him. I think, I think you got to be on one side of the ball, bro.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe his injury contribute, like the snap count contributed to that, but we'll see. Well, but I think he's always gonna have packages, bro. Like
Yeah,
even if
probably.
it's a small amount of reps, I think he's always gonna have packages for at least the offensive side of the ball, and he'll probably primarily be on the defensive side of the ball.
Cool. Bet. So yeah, I got the Bears. What was that? 8-4 for me,
Yeah,
and you had them at 7-5.
7-5 now. Yep.
Okay, okay. Let me pull them back up again. So then the following week, will we be playing the Dolphins? There's a lot of question marks on their Dolphins position. They did bring in the backup quarterback from Green Bay. They got rid of Tua Tagovailoa. They probably kept Tua probably a little bit, maybe an extra season too long. I know Tariq Hill's out of there with his injury. Don't have Jalen Waddle. My bad, my mistake. Jalen Waddle, but they do have Malik Willis. But I mean, he was a backup quarterback. Although he did pretty well for the Packers, but he'll be learning a new offense. I think this is going to be a pretty easy win for us on the
Yeah,
road.
and this will be the first time Malik Willis has been QB1, for organizations. So, you know, obviously there's gonna be a learning curve there and a lot of pressure there. We'll see how he adjusts to it. He flashed with the Packers though. He had some really great plays when Jordan Love went out, but I think it's gonna take a little bit of time to get his footing as well. So I think the Bears go in there and they take that win from the Dolphins.
Yeah, so I got them starting off 9-4. You got them starting off 8-5.
8-5. Yep.
And thank goodness because we'll be going into Buffalo on December 19th, and I think we lose that game away. And I think around
Think
that
so?
time it'll probably be crazy cold in Buffalo. You know, Buffalo gets crazy weather, bro.
Yeah. But I mean,
And I
we
know, and I see it being a revenge game for DJ Moore for some reason. I got
I
us
think
dropping to
DJ
Buffalo.
Moore, bro. I think DJ Moore is exactly what Josh
They
Allen
they
needed.
need
They needed that,
absolutely.
and that's why they made the trade.
Yep,
Because they need that. Sure, like we got
yep.
our guy, wide receiver one,
And
and I
durable.
think he going.
And
Yeah.
durable. Like DJ Moore has taken a lot of big hits and would get
Hmm.
hurt or hurt his ankle, and I don't remember him missing a game for us. You know,
Did he miss one? Maybe I don't know. Maybe he
but
didn't.
still, but he was
He didn't.
durable and
Yeah.
he played mostly like he's on the field. You know what I mean? He's on
Yep.
the field way more than he's not, and I
Hmm.
think that's the reason why they was willing to give away a second rounder for him. They like we need to do anything we can to get this guy, and they got him. And I think that's the
Yeah.
game that'll probably be his quote unquote revenge game against us because I don't know if it'll technically be revenge because he went to a good team. We traded him, but he went to a good team. You
No,
know?
it's revenge for sure because y'all traded me and y'all was
Yeah,
talking
true.
shit. And people was talking shit about
All
his
about that
effort.
last play.
And
Yeah,
yeah. So no, it's revenge. So yeah, it's a tough one. I think the Bears could win this game,
I think they could
but
too. But I
I
think
think
being on
I
the
really
road
think they could win this
I
game.
think being on the road
But
is the deciding factor for me.
yeah, and I just the defense, like one
Bills Mafia.
maybe we revisit this once the season starts. A couple games, yeah,
Mhm.
obviously we gonna talk about it, and maybe the predictions may change depending on how the defense is playing. But I mean, Josh Allen over 3,500 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 500 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns. Then you got James Cook, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns. Then you add DJ Moore, who's gonna give you that production as well. So you add another weapon, a for sure weapon. They gonna be scary, man. Like they're gonna be scary. I know that the conversation is them getting over the hump, and it's not about the Bills, so whatever. But yeah, Josh Allen getting over the hump, they coming up short every year, but they gonna be they. I think DJ Moore gives them that extra production that they need to get over, and I got them winning. I got them winning against the Bears,
Yeah,
man.
I got
But
them winning that game too. But so I got the Bears falling to 9-5. You have them falling to 8-6.
hey, that's
Which what we've been through and played so far is still that's not bad,
not
bro.
terrible,
The
not
only
terrible.
concerning thing at this point would be how's our division playing now? Right? Like how is Green Bay playing? How's the Vikings like what are their records? Because the Detroit Lions barely missed the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? They barely missed the playoffs. So that's gonna be the question mark. But I got them at 9-5. You got them at 8-6. I think that's gonna be a good thing going into Green Bay again at home, and I think we win that game. I think we win
I
that
do
game. I
too.
think being at home would be the deciding factor, and obviously deep in December on Christmas Day at that. Christmas Day. We got a Christmas game against the Packers. They really want
Yep.
us to have these primetime games. I like the NFL. They messing with us on that. But I got us winning that game at home, Christmas Day, primetime against Green Bay, and we are 10-5 going into week 17.
Well, 9-6 for me.
6. So you got them winning that game too?
What the
Packers.
the Packers game? Yeah, I got them winning that game. Yep.
Okay, and then the following week, the remaining of the season would be divisional games. So I think we split with the Lions, and I think we win again at home the following
Mm-hmm.
week against the
Yep.
Lions, which has us at 11-5. And then I think we win against the Vikings the following week away on the road, TBD to be determined. I think we win against the Vikings and sweep them, like you said. And I think we finished the season 12-5, bro. One game
Yeah, that
better
ain't
than last
bad.
year.
Hey, that ain't bad.
One
I
game
got them
better than last
11-6,
year.
man.
Got them 12, and you got them same. You had them the same as
Yeah.
last year
Yep.
with the toughest schedule coming up. My prediction, we got to make a graphic on this. My prediction is that the Bears will go 12-5 this year. Your prediction that they have the same record as last year and going 11-6, which isn't terrible, and we make the playoffs. There you have it, Bears fans. I got the Bears at 12-5. You got the Bears at 11-6. For Efe to hate the Bears,
Hey, I hate the Bears, but I love football.
you sound
I
pretty
hate the
confident, though.
Bears. I hate the Bears, but I love football. And when it's time to talk football, I can only be honest. I can only be objective, man.
Fair
I love
enough.
football, bro. And the Bears, I think they're good, man. I think they could repeat what they did. But there's a chance. It's all just depending on that defense, bro. Because this season, just as easy as we got to the records we got, it could be way worse than this. Because
It
some of
could be.
those games that we are expecting them to win, they could drop unexpectedly. You know,
Anything
but
can
that's
happen
what I
in the
said.
NFL.
Yeah,
And at
anything
the
can
end of the day,
happen.
it's the NFL. Like, whether we think a team is bad, it's the NFL. Like, they're all professional. They're all professional
Exactly.
players, and any team could be beaten any day.
Exactly, for
So.
sure. So yeah, I'm excited to see get the season going, man, and just to follow it kind of how we follow high school football. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be the fun part of like following week in and week out and going through stats and storylines and takes and stuff. So I think I'm most excited about that for real.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason why I got the Bears winning a lot of these games, and it goes back to the quarterback position for me, really the offensive end for me. I think from the leap that I saw Caleb take from the rookie season, and he didn't have a terrible he didn't have as terrible of a rookie season as it was perceived, I should say, because it was pretty bad. If he was like a starting quarterback, 5-year vet, and he had that season, that'd be terrible. But as a rookie and a coach, and it's 3 different coaches he went through, man, he didn't have that terrible of a season as I think he really could have. You know what I mean? But then last season, getting with Ben Johnson, man, you really, especially late in the season, you really saw that, all right, this is our guy. There's no question marks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is our guy. We're riding with him. He got ice in his veins. It's the reason why we call him the Iceman, right? Shout out Drake. Iceman drops tonight as well. I can't wait for it to come out in about 2 hours. By the time we release this episode, it'll probably already be out. But the biggest reason why I got the Bears going 12-5 is because I have a lot of faith in Caleb Williams. I trust that is our guy. I trust that is going to be our franchise quarterback for years to come. I trust that Luther Bird is going to take the lead. We're going to have Roman Duze stop dropping balls, bro. Pause. But stop dropping the freaking pigskin, bro. I think he'll get better on that. Colston Loveland had a great season, had a great season last year. I'm happy we drafted him. I think he takes the leap. I just see a bunch of upside for our offense. You know what I mean? Even with Cole Kmet still being there. I love the way Cole Kmet played for us last year. I think, us drafting that extra tight end was for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but I think it's going to be a lot with how our formation is with the 2 tight end set. We're going to be doing that a lot more often now. Kalmanungai, our 7th round draft pick last year. I see him taking another leap along with still got Swift back there in the backfield. I think this would be our last season with Swift. You know what I mean? Which is okay. And I think that's where we'll open the door to draft another running back and just kind of keep that pipeline going. But I see Swift having a good season for us too. I think we'll use him a lot better. I think we'll use him the same way. And I just see our offense. I see so much potential in our offense. I know our line is still going to be pretty solid. You know, I know we lost the guy that retired, and then we replaced him with another guy, and then we drafted another center. So I just I think think the offense is going to be the reason why I feel confident in in the Bears winning that many games. But the defensive end, that could easily be the reason why we don't win games. So we'll see as the season progresses. What are your last thoughts on this?
No, yeah, yeah. For me, I know it's gonna be an offensive explosion. Kansas City 2.0. We know Ben Johnson is a madman. He got super creative offensive schemes. Caleb Williams is going to take the next step. He's developing. A lot of guys are developing on the offensive side of the ball. And I mean, this is it's cliche to keep on saying it, but the biggest question is the defensive side of the ball, which we all going to keep on saying until the season starts and we see how the defense plays. So I think that's like the clear issue, the clear elephant in the room, and we won't know until the season starts how that works out. But I do like the pieces that they, put out there and that they have defensively, adding Dylan Thieneman in a draft. I think he's gonna be an immediate impact guy. And we'll just see. We'll just see how the defensive unit holds up and how they play because they could come out firing. Because I know Dennis Allen and the coaching staff, Ben Johnson, was saying a lot of the defensive issues wasn't from a technical aspect or skill aspect of none of the players. It was more of a from a scheme aspect, like coaching, so they said they're going to be better. They're going to be better. They're going to coach better, so we'll see what changes they make from the defensive side of the ball. And we'll go from there. But I do believe that they can match what they did last season at the very least. At the very least, I believe they can match what they did.
I agree. But we're back, baby.
Yeah, man.
We're back.
For
And
sure.
I couldn't be more happier. So let's get it. I should say football, Chicago Bears, probably do some Illinois stuff too. But
Yeah.
let's get it, baby. Let's
Yeah,
get it,
man.
man. Let's
I got a couple more Bears questions though. So so one thing, Caleb was close to getting to passing for 4,000 yards. Do you think he gets it this year? Do you
yes,
think he throws for
I think so.
4,000?
I
Clearly,
think so.
yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
And you got to think a lot of the reason why he didn't get that is because of how the season started. You know what I mean? Like learning a new offense, really trying to develop, I guess you would say. I don't see this season as being a development season. Obviously, still being a young quarterback, you're gonna always get better. Development is gonna just be part of your game the whole, the whole time, right? But I don't expect to have those games where it's like, all right, he's learning the offense or whatever. He has a whole year under his belt with the Ben Johnson offense. So I'm expecting him, and I don't think this is too much to ask. I'm expecting him to start off, balling. I'm
Yeah,
not expecting him to have lapses or setback games to start the season, especially not against the what we starting the season off against? The Panthers. So I'm expecting him to start off strong, and I'm expecting him to play extremely well. I'm expecting him to play MVP caliber, if I'm being
yeah,
honest. I'm not gonna go as far as and say he's gonna win the MVP, but I'm expecting him to be in that talks of saying he could potentially win the MVP this year. And I don't think that's crazy for me to say. I really don't think so. Because he has the weapons. He has the line. He has a great play caller. I think he has it all. I think the only thing is it won't be his play that loses us games. I think it'll just be, like you said, the question mark for defensive end. So to say, is he going to throw for 4,000 yards? I think so. I really think so. More than
yeah.
4,000 yards, to be honest.
So would you say that he probably will have the biggest jump? Because I wanted to ask you, like, who do you think has the biggest jump this year from last year? But I mean, if Caleb goes and he's MVP caliber, I mean, that's a pretty big jump.
Him or
That's a
Luther
pretty
Burden.
really Luther
And I and
Burden.
I and the crazy part is I think it'll be both of them because I think it would be because of each other why they have the biggest jump.
Okay.
Although Rome was drafted when you want to say higher or lower than Luther Burden, I think Luther Burden is our guy. I think the reason why we were comfortable with trading DJ Moore is because of Luther Burden. And it's the run after catch for Luther Burden or yards after catch for Luther Burden that gets me. He can run in the open field after catching the ball, and I think he's going to be our guy. I think he's going to be our number one receiver. Like
Yeah,
I'm confident in Luther Burden being that guy. And he's St. Louis, Illinois
for sure.
guy, but I'm confident. I think he's going to be our guy. And I think he's going to have a leap and Caleb's going to have a leap. And I think it's going to be because of each other.
Yeah, and you know what? I think differently. I think Colston Loveland
Coastal
is
love
going
it,
to be
but
I
yeah,
think he's
very
gonna
true.
be the number one guy. Now I think he's gonna take the biggest leap. I think he's
Travis
gonna
Kelsey
be a
to
bro,
Patrick
yes.
Mahomes type thing.
Yes, I think
Very
he's gonna
nice.
be that. That's exactly what I think is gonna happen. I think he's gonna have 1,000 yards next year. He's gonna be. He's a. I was watching this film earlier. Like he's just a mismatch nightmare. Like he can line up at the slot. He can line up out wide. He can line up in line. He's too big for corners. He's too fast for linebackers. And he's hard to tackle. He can run great routes. Like the and I just think he just has an explosive second year. Like I think he's gonna be number one target for Caleb because he already was. I mean, last year, Colston Loveland, 58 receptions, 713 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I think he goes for double-digit touchdowns and 1,000 yards next year. Like I think so, bro. I think Colston Loveland is the guy.
Yeah, it's not far fetched. I can't
Yeah,
disagree with you on that. I
yeah,
cannot disagree with you on that. Which is even more reason why I know we're gonna trade Kokomet.
yeah.
Hey, but
We'll see. I mean,
it's just a great business decision, bro.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say now we're not gonna get like a second rounder for him. I know we're not gonna get that. It's just a good business decision. We already drafted essentially quote unquote his replacement. I'm not gonna say he's his replacement because he's still here, but um we'll see though. We'll see how everything plays out.
okay, for
I'm excited
sure.
about the season, bro. I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
am too.
I got
I
high
think
expectations, bro. I got high expectations.
I'm definitely excited to cover. Like I enjoy covering. I enjoy watching the games, reporting on the games, going through stats and, different takes like that. That's the most fun part to me. So I definitely I can't wait till things get rolling for real for both Illinois high school and the Bears.
Yeah, Illinois high school is gonna be man. I can't wait for this season. I'm excited every season though, so it's the same. It's the
Yeah, for
same.
sure.
But we're gonna see, man.
For sure. For
Anything else
sure.
you want
But
to talk
yeah,
about before we go?
yeah. Last thing. Want to do a prize pick segment, right? So a prize pick, they got season long projections, right? So I want to go through some of these and get like some of your more or less, because prize picks is more or less, right?
Prize picks, yeah. Prize pick game, yeah.
Right, right.
That's
So
the Joe
look,
Budden
so
podcast.
yeah, yeah, man. Number one prize pick sponsor right there, boy. But so we got Caleb Williams. So they got him more or less 3,500.5 passing yards. So last season he threw for 3,942 passing yards. So you thinking more or less there.
More. And I already
More
said
for
it
sure.
earlier.
Yeah,
I
we
say
already
more.
said it. Yeah, more. He
And I
definitely
think
gets
and
more
I
there.
say the reason why I'm gonna say it again, he was learning the offense, and I think a lot of those earlier games is the reason why he didn't. But yeah,
For
I say
sure.
more.
All right, so then they got rushing yards 24.5 last year. He rushed for 388.
Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
I say I say less this year because of the more passing yards.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying less this year because I think a lot of not when you watch a lot of those runs are more so scrambles than
Mhm.
designated run
And
plays
he wants
for
to throw.
quarterbacks, and
And
he
he wants to
wants to
throw.
throw, and he
Yeah.
has more weapons to throw to. So I think,
Yeah.
and the offensive line is better, so I think they'll be able to contain and hold a little bit longer for him to
Yeah.
have a clean pocket. So I think he has to run less next year. So yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go less.
I would have said if I would have saw a lot more like design runs for him, then I'll probably say
Yeah,
probably around the same and still maybe even say less. Um, Clearly he wants to be a pocket passer and throw it, and he uses his legs when he has to. So
for sure.
I reckon
All
he
right,
won't be in those type of situations this year.
I agree. So we got passing touchdowns. So they got him more or less 23.5 passing touchdowns. Last year he had 27 passing touchdowns.
And this year they got him at 23.5. They got him less,
Yeah,
more than 23.5. Come on now.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
taking them more there. Taking
yeah, I'm
more.
taking them more.
All right. So on the Colston Loveland, they got him at 4.5 touchdowns. Last season he had 6 touchdowns.
What they own with us? But I got him at. You know what? No, I got him at more. I got him at more. I got him around. And this is just my theory that Luther Burden's going to be the guy to take the leap, and Luther Burden's going to be Caleb's go-to guy. But you believe that Colston Love is going to be that guy, and I got him around like 10 or 11 probably. But I got him more. I got him more than definitely 4 points.
Yeah. And then, okay, so yeah, I agree. I'm going more because obviously I said that he's gonna go double digits next year, so I got
Yeah.
him over 10. Dude got receiving yards, 69 699.5 receiving yards last season. He has 713.
Why they keep making him regress? Anywho, I got him more.
Well, I think the regression comes from the depth that'll be
Oh,
like the
okay.
receivers. You know what I mean? Because you add in so many different, receivers, and then Rome is gonna be back. Because you remember Rome didn't play a lot of games.
Rome didn't play a lot of games. Colston Loveland actually was hurt quite a few games too. I'm gonna put
Yeah,
that as a
so
factor too. Why I think more because he's going to play. I believe he's going to play more games. I think he's going to be more healthy this year, and I think he's going to play more games. So I
yeah,
got him
because
at
then
more.
yeah, because then you got to think even with DJ Moore gone, and then DJ Moore gone, I think he had what like 600 receiving yards or something like that last season. But then Xavier Thomas is there, so we don't know what type of role he's gonna have, the LSU receiver. But yeah, so it's gonna you got to spread the wealth. That's why it's gonna be tough for some of those guys to get some high yardage, seasons just because it's so many targets out there. But on
Absolutely.
on to they got DeAndre Swift, rushing touchdown 6.5. Last season he rushed for 9.
Hmm.
What do you think happens with the touches this year? Because I know him and Kalmanungai, they didn't necessarily split. I think DeAndre Swift had about
More.
50 more carries than Kalmanungai, but do we see that transition a little bit? I know you saying that our time with Swift could be a little bit limited, could be short. Does Kalmanungai kind of step into that more primary role, that more primary back, or does it kind of stay the same way that it was?
Well, because of how much we pay Swift, I know Swift is going to still be the main guy. I mean, that's just business wise. We're going to get every dollar we can out of him, right?
Yeah.
Or to get our most value out of him. And Kalman guy's a 7th round pick. But I do see if Kalmanungai get more carries. I just don't see it. I don't see DeAndre Swift. I don't see him getting less, or at least not that much less. That it changes his impact. What do they have him at?
They have him at 6.5.
And he had 9 last year.
Yeah.
I don't see him having less than 6.5. I say more. I don't see him having less
Yeah.
than 6.5. And this is just speaking to how confident I am in our offense. I don't see him having less than 6.5, but 9, I can see him still being around that.
I almost would take them more on anything offensive with the Bears because they
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
run it up,
yeah,
bro. It's just
absolutely,
like they
absolutely.
gonna run it up.
I'm
So
super confident in our offense, bro. I'm super confident in
okay,
our offense.
all right, and then okay, so rushing they got rushing yards 850.5. Last season he rushed for 1,087.
I don't see him being at 1,087. I don't know if I see him at 1,087 this year, but I do see him more than what was it again?
It was 850.5.
I see him more than 855. I definitely see him
Yeah,
more than that.
yeah,
I
I
don't see
agree.
him around 1,000, whatever. I see him probably short of 1,000 this year.
Yeah, it's tough. That was a little tricky with the Kalmanungai
Yeah,
situation because we just
Kalmanungai
don't
is the
know
main reason,
how,
right?
so that's a little bit tricky. But then they got a rookie on there, only rookie, Dylan Thieneman, 1.5 interceptions. Can a
Do I
rookie
see
get
him
2
get 2
interceptions this
interceptions
year?
this year? Do you have any stats up on our takeaway or who had the most interceptions last year? Kevin Byard or
Yeah, I believe it was Kevin Byard.
and what do you have, like 6?
But let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna go real quick.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Quick interceptions. You got Kevin Byard with 7.
Oh, it was 7.
Nashawn Wright
Okay, I was
had
gonna say.
5.
Deshaun Wright had
So,
5.
and then even CJ Gardner Johnson had 2 last year.
Huh. I guess the question is, where do we see
Jaquan Brisker had 1. I think he could get 2,
I
man.
think
As
he
a,
could
as
get
the
2.
starting safety, and
I think
Dennis
he could
Allen's
get 2.
defense, he's gonna put him in positions
I
to
think he
make
can get
to make
2.
plays. I think he can get 2, bro.
I say more. I think he can get 2.
I'll say more too. I think he's gonna get 2
I
interceptions,
think he
bro.
can get 2.
I,
Yeah.
I I think he's gonna be in a
Now,
great position.
if the other guys are there still, then that's probably when I say maybe less. But the other guys aren't there. and
Right.
he is essentially gonna be one of the top guys in the secondary. I
Yeah,
say he get
starter.
so I say he gets at least 2. He probably gets more than 2, to be honest. Like you said, Dennis Allen's probably gonna put him in positions to have success, hopefully. I would hope so.
Yeah,
And he's a really good safety coming out of Oregon, so I would say I would say more.
more. All right. So we got Kalmanungai rushing touchdowns, 4.5. Last season he had 5.
I say he gets more than 5 this year. I say he gets
More
more
than
than 5.
5.
I think we're gonna be in a lot of I think we're probably gonna use him a lot better. Not saying we used him bad last year. I think we figured out as we were starting to use him a lot more, I think we figured out in the situations to use him, and a lot of those are gonna be those, I think, close goal line situations for him to just punch it in. I see him having more than 5.
I agree with that one. I would take the more there. So we got rushing yards, 625.5. Last season he rushed for 783.
Yeah, I see more.
Yeah, I probably went less there. I went
I
less.
don't know.
I
No,
went
actually, I
less
see
there.
less. I say
Yeah,
less.
I see less.
I see less, and it goes back to what I was just saying. I see less because I think we're going to use him more strategically, and I think
Yeah,
it's going to be more of those closer first down. Like he's a big power through guy. You know what I mean? He's a smaller guy, but he's very stocky, and he runs hard through people. And I think he's going to be that guy for us. I think he's going to be the guy that gets those short yardage situations, and he'll have more touchdowns, I think, but I think he'll have less yards because we'll use him in that way, in that capacity.
yeah. Yeah, that's same way I see it. So now we on to your boy Luther Burden. They got him 4.5 receiving touchdowns. Last season he only had 2. And I feel like I looked at him like 2. I feel
Well,
like
he
he
was
had more
hurt.
than 2
He was
touchdowns, but yeah.
hurt. He wasn't playing. He didn't get that many snaps. He didn't start getting more snaps until what am I talking about? Snaps like he's a quarterback. He didn't start getting that more receptions or targets until later in the season. You know, beginning of the season, he wasn't getting that many targets. Like I
Yeah.
remember when we played Dallas, he had like a little flea flicker. I mean, he wasn't really getting that many targets last year, or at least to start the season. I think with DJ Moore being gone, I think he gets a lot more targets. But
Okay. So
who's to say? You know, maybe Colston Loveland. I think he's going to take a leap. And my bad. Go ahead and continue. I don't
no,
even
no,
gotta let
no,
you
no, you
ask.
good. Go ahead. No, no,
What was the over or under?
it was 4.5 and last year he had 2. So does he get over 4 touchdowns?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
I think
I
so.
think he definitely gets more. I
Yeah.
think he definitely gets more. And then
I
you
think
know
he gets
how
double digits.
yeah.
Uh
You think you get 10? I
no,
mean, I
I don't
just
think
think
so.
it's gonna
Because
be tough,
it's
bro,
gonna be
because it's
tough
too
because
many.
it's too many. It's too many to go around.
It's too
But
many
I think he
targets.
definitely gets more than 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
or
definitely
at
think he
least
more than 5.
5. At least 5. I think he yeah.
Alright, so we got receiving yards. We got 750.5. Last year, he had 652.
Yes, I see him getting more, and the main reason, if he doesn't equate to touchdowns, his run after catching the ball, bro, he knows how
Yeah,
to catch the ball and get more yardage from where he catches it at. So I say more. And
yeah,
I say that's going to increase. I say that's where if it's anything that he takes the leap, I say it's that. That is going to be where we're like, all right, he gets targets and because he can run in the open field, bro. He's just so
yeah,
shifty. He can run in the open
yeah, that's
field.
true.
So
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I would have
and with
gone less
DJ
on
Moore
that.
being gone, who's to say we might not experience using him the same way we was using DJ Moore? You know those little bubble screens
Yeah,
and whatever. So we'll see.
yeah, we'll see, we'll see.
I just hope
But
we
I
don't
guess
put
we'll
him in
see.
the backfield. But let's please get away from that experience because you know how we kept trying to put DJ Moore in the backfield last year.
Yeah.
Please get away from that. Please get away
No,
from that.
I don't think that they're gonna do that. Xavion Thomas, I think that's gonna be more his role
Yeah,
as a slot receiver, kinda like that jet
yeah,
motion guy, the
yeah.
running back, that's a receiver. So, yeah, I think that's gonna be more his role, but I don't think they're gonna do that with Luther Burden. But who knows? Ben Johnson, he crazy. So, you never know. You never know what he thinking. Alright, so then we got Roma Dunze, last person. Roma Dunze, last player, receiving touchdown, 6.5. Last season, he had 6. And he was rolling, bro. Just think, he was out for a lot of games and still had he had as many reception yards as DJ Moore, still had 6 touchdowns. Like, he got off to a hot start, bro. He got off to a hot start.
Yeah, he probably could have had more if he wasn't dropping the ball so much.
Dang, what you on with Rome, man?
Bro, you're the what did you get drafted? 8th? Come on now, bro. You're our first round draft pick, you know, after Caleb. You can't be dropping the ball, bro. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. You know,
I
that's
feel
where
you.
I'm expecting him to take a leap on next year. Catch the freaking ball, bro. You know what I mean? And this is to say, I still love Rome. He's great for us. You know what I mean? And you just spoke good stats about him for him to be out and still have better production than DJ. Just stop dropping the ball, bro. Like stop
Hey,
dropping the
man.
ball. That's all I ask. Don't drop the ball, bro. But if he doesn't drop the ball, what was the over under?
It was 6.5. He had 6.
This is a tough one.
Yeah,
Can he get one more than 6? I think he could get one. I don't know, actually. It's too many mouths to feed, bro. I don't know.
yeah. It is, and then just the injury, like, I don't know how serious it is, you know?
No, I think he'll be fine from the injury. And
Well,
I'm
no,
just
but,
saying,
just recurring, like, it's just,
being
sometimes
injury
injuries
prone.
yeah,
Got you.
like, because with all of these projections, it's through a whole season, so, we don't know what guys are gonna get hurt, things happen,
Yeah.
so this is like in a perfect world where they play every single game and, so, I mean,
I
I don't
say
know.
under. I'm gonna go on a whim and say under. And that's not saying that he's gonna have bad production. I think I think our touchdowns are gonna be more to our tight ends.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking that. Well, obviously because Coastal Loveland, but it's just
Yeah,
so
Cole
many to throw to,
Kmet's
bro. It's so many to
yeah.
throw to, bro. So I'm going to say, but can he get one more? Can he get 7? Actually, no, I'm gonna say over. If he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, I say over. But it all
Because he
depends on if he
only
stays
played
healthy.
12 games last year. He only
It
played 12 games and got
all
that,
depends on if he
so,
stays healthy. Yeah, if he
yeah,
stays
if he
healthy, I
stays
say
healthy.
over. I say over if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say
I
over.
went less there. I went less just because of the factor in the possibility of injury and distributing, of the different targets. You got so many different targets, bro. It's so
Makes
many. And
sense.
I think Colston Loveland is gonna be the primary, so
That's your
I don't
guy.
bro, I'm telling you, man, I was watching film early. I'm like, this dude crazy. Like, he was lining up in the slot out wide. He was lining up in line. I'm like, man, he's everywhere on the field, bro. Like, could run every route. He kind of that safety net for Caleb when he get in trouble. He always could dump it down to Colston and, get the first down. Yeah, I think he gonna have a crazy leap, man. Crazy leap.
Okay.
Next, Travis Kelce, man.
That's a big X, but
Turn-
it could be.
Man,
Could be.
rookie year, 700 yards. Like, wait till you get comfortable. But then it's the aspect of like game planning now. Like we went through a year of seeing what you do, how they like to use you, certain sets. So, now this is like the year to really show because everybody's adjusted. But man, if you
But
just
that's
watch
why
them,
it's
I
great
mean,
to have so many weapons, bro.
yeah,
Because you
yeah.
can't stop all of them.
Nah, you
Somebody
can't.
got to go uncovered.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
no many teams don't have what? How many weapons we got? If we're talking about Luther
Too
Burden,
many. Too many.
Colston Loveland, Rome
Mm-hmm.
Odunze,
Yep.
Cole Kmet. So that's 4 that I named as far as receivers. And then we got the backfield.
Sam Roush will be he will
Yeah,
contribute. He will have an impact, bro. Like, I think it won't be a lot, but it will be something.
yeah, but I'm talking about already have film on. But yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. I'm just talking about coming back from last season. But yeah, you're right. So it's like, and then we already
And
talked
then
about the
Jade Walker.
backfield. Jade Walker. Do you think we use him more now that DJ's gone? I don't
I
know. I don't see him
I don't
having
know.
that much of a higher role, if I'm being honest. Um, yeah,
But he made some big plays last season. He had
he
some key
did.
moments last season. So,
He did.
that's all that matters is a couple. Come through when we need
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and that's why I see it as like just a couple. I don't see him being a big like. I don't see him in the same tier as the other guys we named.
No, no,
If that's
no.
what I'm saying. So,
No, for sure.
but what I'm saying is that you don't have that many guys to guard all these guys on the defense.
That's true.
You know, it's not many teams that have that many guys, if any. So,
Well, man, we gonna see, man. And man,
is
I'm
that
gonna
all of
lock
them?
in them picks. Yeah, that's all of them. So I'm gonna lock mine in, and I'm gonna roll through this season and see what's happening, man. No, for
Nah,
sure. But man, man, we officially back, man. So every week we back at it, bro.
yeah, let's
Every
get it,
week,
bro.
bro.
Let's get it. But anything else we want to talk about? Dang, bro, we've been going for 2 hours. This is a long
So,
episode.
right. Hey, it's the first one back, so we had to, we had a
I might
lot
have
to
to
cover.
break it
We
up in
covered
two
a lot.
parts.
Man, something, bro. But
Probably break it. I'll probably break it up into 2 parts.
I think you just
Bears and IHSA.
leave it
Or
all the
leave the
way.
whole
Well,
thing.
I think no, I'm saying I think we could break. I think we should break it up. Like we could break it up individually. Like we could have an IHSA segment, a Bear segment, then post the full one. So post 3 videos. No, that's the way I see, because that's kind of how we broke it up. Yeah. So Bears, IHSA, and then release a full video maybe like next week or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be. I think we should start doing it that way. So no, let's get it, man. And we got some more commitments coming up. Brock Williams is committing on Pat McAfee this weekend, if
Pat
I
McAfee
believe.
going crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yep. So Brock, he's choosing between Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State. I have no idea where he's going. I never know where people are
Georgia,
going.
Texas, Ohio State. He'll probably end up, I think, Georgia.
Georgia.
It's just and I'm following the SEC trend that these Illinois tight ends
Yeah.
have been going to the SSC. So we talk about Max Sutter went to Bama.
JC
JC
Anderson.
Anderson went to originally committed to Ole Miss and then followed Lane Kiffin to LSU. I don't know if he followed. Yeah, he followed them.
Yeah.
So LSU, SEC, both schools are SEC. So if I'm following the trend of our tight ends from Illinois, where they've been going, he's gonna go SEC and go to Georgia. Well, Texas is
Man.
SEC too.
Yeah. Texas or Georgia.
Texas
But
or
I mean
Georgia.
Ohio State.
I don't see him being on
Ohio
Ohio State.
State.
Ohio State is a
You know?
receiver heavy school. He's not gonna get any touches, bro. I don't see him. See him going to Ohio State, bro. I just don't see it. I don't see him going Big Ten. I don't see him. Ohio State just has to. I don't see it. I don't see
I
it. I
do
don't
see
see a
him going to
world.
Georgia.
I don't see a world where he's going to Ohio State.
You don't think so? Man,
No. They're
so you
receiver.
think?
They've always been receiver heavy. Always.
Yeah.
Always. I don't see he's going to the Ohio State.
Georgia, Texas. I'm gonna go Texas, man.
Even
I know Texas was heavy on them early on in the year.
Even if Georgia, they got like a good, even if they have like a good backfield, he'll be utilized in a way of like a blocking or I just see SEC, bro. Even if
Yeah,
it's
I get
Georgia or
what you're saying.
Texas, I just see SEC.
Well, we gonna see, man. I think I'm gonna say Texas. I know I know it's been a lot of reports on him, Texas leading over like this whole year. Because I mean, he had these 3 for a long time. It's been about a year since he announced his top 3. So he's just now committing. But yeah, I'm gonna go Texas here. I think I'm gonna go Texas.
Texas, okay.
Yeah, but I definitely see him playing for Georgia for sure. Like Georgia, that I could see him in a Georgia jersey. So we'll see though. So shout out Brock Williams, Libertyville tight end, 4-star. We gonna see where he goes.
Absolutely, man. See, Illinois got some dogs, bro.
Man, put some respect on Illinois, man.
Stop
But
playing
it's
with
all
us,
right. We
man.
gonna wake them up, bro. We gonna wake them up.
Yeah. I can't wait to see this season, though. I'm excited about this season for sure.
For
And we
sure.
get to it, bro. And we're probably gonna release a lot of those combine videos. I know I'm gonna release a full combine highlight. Full combine highlight. I know a lot of kids been asking for their videos personally. To be honest, you gotta
You
wait.
might get them, you might not. You might get them, you might
You
not.
might
We
get
don't
them, you
know.
might not, but you gotta wait. Hear me now when I'm saying it. You gotta wait.
For sure.
And if we're sending them to you, we're sending them for free. So it's like you gotta wait.
Hey,
That's
man.
That's the
trade-off, man.
That's the trade-off. If you're gonna get them for free, you get them when you get them. No disrespect, but we're gonna post them. So we're already doing you a solid of posting you and stuff. So, but they'll be coming out. I'll probably get that out along with the episode out next week. So we'll
For
see.
sure.
Yeah, but this is the
man.
off-season podcast with your boys Tre and Efe. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm sure we'll probably have another guest on. I know Brother Rice, strength and conditioning coach, reached out, so we'll probably still sprinkle a guest on, but we'll see. we'll probably make it part of this episode of us actually covering stuff. So I don't see us having a guest centered episode by itself again anytime soon, at least. So yeah, back to our I'm gonna name this back to our regularly scheduled program. No, I'm just talking. But let's get it, man. Off-season podcast featuring Tre, Efe, and we out.